Hiya and greetings, and welcome to the Aimless Adventure Podcast. This is the first podcast of 2016. We're back with, after a month hiatus or so. I mean, we did our Star Wars spoiler cast and our VR thing, but...
nothing on an official capacity.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, the thing about December is there's not a whole lot of news. There's a little bit of news that came out the first week of January, but we'll get into all of that kind of stuff. But as always, across the table from me, we got the original Hoovomaniac, the Hoov.
Wearing my Shawn Michaels shirt today.
Heartbreak Hoov in the
Heartbreak
house.
Hoov. Shawn Michaels.
You might recognize him from our last podcast, the Star Wars spoiler cast and the VR cast. Danny.
What's happening?
La Orca, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. And then we got the bearded wonder himself, who's drinking cold beer today.
Hello, everybody.
Probably because his pantry's cold.
Yeah.
John.
My chest.
And on Skype, our lore master himself, Murph.
Greetings, everyone.
And then I'm Josh. We don't have Helen or Ryan here today, but we'll do all right without them. First and foremost, we like to start our podcast with the current adventures. So I'm going to go to the man on Skype first because he has obviously played way more hours of video games than any of us. Well, tell us what you're playing, Murph.
Well, I don't know if I played more hours of video games. You guys got
more
of a wider, broad of selection, especially when you hear what I'm about to say. But I've been continued to play Fallout 4. You know I'm a Bethesda junkie, especially when it comes to the Elder Scrolls and Fallout series. I just reached level 93 on Fallout 4 today.
Ridiculous.
So my goal is to reach 100. I just finished tracking down almost all of the magazines. I actually couldn't find any more and found out there was 2 that I couldn't find. But I'm finishing up the companion quests. And yeah, when I reach level 100, I'm going to plan on taking a break. So I might reach that in like a week and a half.
I have a quick question for you on that, Murph.
Yeah.
Traditionally, like 99 is the level limit, right?
Yes.
And on this, it's unlimited.
Uh-huh.
You're getting close to that. Do you think there's going to be enough content left to continue? Or do you think at 100 it's going to be like, okay, I'm kind of done anyway?
You know, challenge-wise, there hasn't been much of a challenge in the game since I was like level 50 or in the 40s. So the game has stayed the same challenge level.
Oh, man.
Kind of like in D&D. To get a little nerdy here, I mean, there's not much difference between, in first edition, there's not much difference between an 18th level or a 36th level character and a 100th level character. There really isn't. So I'm still finding new locations. There are a lot of unmarked locations on this map. And I'm still, every once in a while, running across somebody who I haven't met before that gives me a small little quest. In addition to establishing all my various settlements and doing the companion quests. There's still stuff to do, but I figure I'll reach 100 and then I'll wait for the DLCs to start coming out.
When's the last time you slept?
Normal. I mean, I'll play it for like an hour in the morning before I go to work. And then when I get home from work, I usually decompress for an hour by playing it. So,
not to mention the 6 hours of playing in his office.
I wish.
Do you know what your hour count is?
You know, I tried to find that today, but I don't know how to find that. How can I find that on the PS4?
I assume it's in the save file information, but I've never tried to look for it myself because I don't put that.
Yeah, because on Skyrim I could find it easily and said it was in the save file, information there. But I'll do some research to find out, and I'll get back to you guys on that.
All right. I'm kind of curious. I bet you have 70 or 80 plus hours into that game so far. You have to.
Yeah, I've been playing it constant since it came out on November 11th. So
yeah,
that's been the only game I've been playing. So
well, like on average, like how long do you think it takes you to gain a level right now?
It really started slowing down once again after level 50. It depends on what I do. Sometimes I'll just go down south and start messing around.
That's why I meant to keep you around.
Why did it come out right? I'll go down there and lick all my enemies.
Kill that man in the boat.
You know, on the map, the further south you go, the harder the enemies you come across.
Right.
I'll just go into the glowing sea and just wander around and try to kill every Deathclaw I come across. Or I'll just start raiding some gunner camps over and over again. Or I might spend some time on my settlements, building up, recruiting people, putting up defenses. It varies.
Defenses
Usually,
are nothing without the gates.
Now it's like every day in a level. So
once an hour, once every hour and a half, 2 hours?
once every 4 hours, I would say, with my play style.
So you're saying that you've put at least 200 hours into the game?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so you definitely have us all killed in terms of hours played in just any game world. So that's...
It's
Yeah.
funny
I had-
when I log on the PS4 and I can see who's online, who's doing what, and it's usually a good variety. Everybody else I've seen so far, it's been Battlefront, the Rainbow Six. I guess there's a new Rainbow
Yeah.
Six. A lot of people are playing that.
Rainbow Six Siege.
And I'll look around, see what my friends are doing. Murph, Fallout 4, Fallout 4, Fallout 4, Fallout 4. All I see is a little dude, a little pit boy dude or whatever. Like, it looks like Murph is still playing Fallout 4.
That's crazy. All right, well, we'll go to Danny next.
Not too much gaming right now. I had a tore up hand, so it's kind of slowing me down. But I have been just started not too long ago. I think I'm 4 or 5 episodes in now of Jessica Jones.
Ooh, only 4 or 5?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
I only started a couple days ago, but I'm enjoying it. Have you guys watched it at all?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
couldn't stop watching it.
I'm enjoying it. I think Kilgrave. I think he's
David Tennant.
yeah. I think it's a little odd that his superpower is like date rape.
Well, it's mind control, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
A little
Bill
dark,
Cosby's
little
in
dark.
this?
Yeah, I mean, a little jealous.
I am Roofie Man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's weird is that I agree with you, but having seen the rest of the story, I kind of I understand more where the character is at mentally. So I see why that is sort of a thing.
Right.
It's not like he just decided he wanted to rape people. He's just really mentally screwed up.
Well, yeah, but it's just, especially in the first few episodes, it's the focus is, hey, when we're done banging, I'm gonna have you go kill somebody for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was
dark, but
there was so much gratuitous and unnecessary sex in that show.
I don't know about unnecessary.
I just I don't have a problem with it most of the time, but it
So
was
subjective.
pretty there was a
Yeah.
lot of it.
Definitely.
Yeah, that viewing at the preschool is just awkward.
They look at each other at the bar.
Yeah, I can see the teacher. It's a Marvel movie, kids.
Like the second episode, her and what's his name look at each other at the bar. Nick Cage or Johnny
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
They look at each other at the bar, and then she is railing him on his bed. I'm
like 30 seconds later.
what the
yeah.
fuck?
Been there.
Shit.
He shot me that look, and I couldn't resist myself.
Yeah, I love that. It definitely.
It's such a good show.
It definitely has a dark side, that's for sure. That's a good example. I mean, that whole story about, hey, I've been spying on you because I killed your wife, but we should bang for a while.
Yeah.
It's a little
I'm
dark.
just waiting for the Jessica Jones Disney Infinity figure for the PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
The Luke Cage accessory with the bed playsets. Sell that shit in Walmart, Disney. Let's go.
It's got a Karma Sutra playset.
Yeah, no.
You can play all
Karma
night.
Sutra Power Disc.
Yeah. I mean, the character kind of fits her, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because that's kind of sort of the character she played in Breaking Bad. So, it's sort of damaged and
Oh, yeah,
fucked
absolutely.
up. And
It's definitely in her wheelhouse.
yeah,
that's for sure.
she's awesome at it.
Yeah, I
So-
agree.
I'm looking forward to when they bring it all together because it's supposed to be Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Daredevil, Iron Fist on the way for the Netflix.
Yeah, they've all got separate
The
series.
Heroes for
yeah.
Hire, I think, was what
Something
they were
like
called
that.
in the comics. Can't really remember.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to eventually merge towards, a
Right,
couple seasons.
and that's
down
still
road.
in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's all based around that. So I wonder if we'll ever see them on the big screen or not.
I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't expect, at least with her, I think that's kind of the idea, is to be the lower level away from the big screen, kind of fill the gaps when you don't have the big screen to go check out.
Oh,
kind
and
of
I
thing,
forget Punisher coming in season 2 for Daredevil.
Yeah, but he's going to be a bad guy in
Yeah,
season
yeah.
2, yeah.
Technically, bad guy anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, he's whatever.
Is he? I thought he was
Well,
anti-hero.
he was vigilante and stuff, but still, judge, jury, executioner usually isn't a good guy.
He murders hundreds of peoples, but for his right reasons.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
To him, it's right because it's a drug dealer. I mean, I hate to do this, but you got Matt Murdock, Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when the law goes south, he'll always give the law the first chance to do it right. But
Well, he's a lawyer.
Right.
gets
He'll
paid
always
that
try to
way.
do the right thing.
He's got to
But
make that cash.
then if he sees it's not, right's not being done, he steps in as Daredevil.
Yeah.
Where Punisher's there's no give, no get. You jaywalk, you're dead, motherfucker.
Is that a joint?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
no, it was a cigarette. I'm sorry, dude.
My bad.
Yeah, you're smoking a joint, you're a drug dealer, you're a dead motherfucker. That's
Yeah.
Punisher.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the way it is. Daredevil's kind of like, well, can't we try to help first before we kill motherfuckers? And they've shown a couple of stills from the show coming up where they've taken it right out of a couple of the crossovers, because Daredevil and Punisher have a very cool, unique dynamic in relationship in the comic book. So, and John Berthenol playing the Punisher, I think they may have gotten it right. Because
I still hate that motherfucker from Walking Dead, so it's like...
you hate Shane, not John Berthenol.
Yeah.
You hate Shane.
I do, I hate Shane, but man, I just can't help but look at that face and go, I fucking hate you.
He's stereotyped forever.
Yeah, exactly.
He's bad Stifler.
The meme I made today almost put party on Shane, party on Vader, or Darth.
Nice.
But I was like, no, I hate Shane too much. I can't do that.
I'm glad I'm not alone. I just
So
hate
I
that
went
guy.
with
Oh, I
Pinky in the
agree.
brain.
I'm with you on that too. Yeah, but I all in all, I think it's a good show. I'm looking forward to finishing it up, which will probably be by the end of the weekend. But yeah, I like it. It's,
You got to finish because Daredevil season 2. Have you gotten into Daredevil yet?
No, not yet.
If you finish
It's on my
Jessica
list.
Jones, it'll give you. If you finish it this month, they give you February to finish the first season of Daredevil, because Daredevil season 2 Netflix is in March. Way
Yeah.
earlier than anybody
I'm
expected.
still... I'll watch season 2, but I'm still on Daredevil. Because,
I liked it a lot.
like, I get... Like, we talked about it before, but, like, he gets his ass kicked every episode, and I'm just like, all right, I'm done with it. Like, I want to see the hero prevail, and yeah, he eventually prevails, but, like... I'm watching the episode and I know like he's just gonna get totally fucking owned, and it's like, all right, well, get owned so that we can watch you win. You know what I mean?
It's like an old Hulk Hogan fight.
Here you go.
Yeah, and then what's her name comes in and Jessica Jones. That was pretty dope.
Oh, and then plus with Daredevil, they're going to introduce Elektra along with Punisher. So we get Elektra in season 2 of Daredevil.
Well,
So that's going to up the ante right there.
are you guys like more DC or more Marvel?
Marvel.
Marvel.
Are
Except
you?
for Batman.
Yeah, I got Batman. I'll read Batman.
I like
I like Green Lantern. I like kind of the space opera, sci-fi stuff of Green Lantern. Flash is pretty cool. That's probably where I ended with DC.
Batman and Joker, and then Marvel Universe, and then DC Universe.
Until I was like 28, 30, I didn't even realize that they were like different.
Yeah.
Right?
Different companies.
I guess I'm not a real geek, but I didn't read comic books, right? So I go back and forth a lot. Like sometimes like the Marvel stuff is a little too over the top for me, and I like some of the gritty and almost based in like reality stuff that DC offers.
DC has Superman, man.
No,
Superman, man.
yeah, but without Superman. I'm
Okay.
talking like the Arrow, Batman. Like there's some mystical shit in there, but like it's not the core of who the character is. The character themselves are just
Marvel.
they're
is
just
more-
really badass.
Marvel is more sci-fi.
Yeah.
oriented, with the mutants, and they get into like the sorcery stuff with Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
which they've released the first images of Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, he
Doctor
looks
Strange.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
Fucking
really
nailed it.
good.
Yeah.
And but Marvel was always kind of more about the underdog. Mm-hmm. You think about the X-Men, the mutants. Think about when some of these characters were created, the '60s. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby. No one out there. Everybody always talks about Stan Lee. People forget about Jack Kirby as well. He helped create. There should be 50-50 credit on all those characters.
Right.
Stan
There
Lee
was
wrote
also
them.
Steve Ditko also with Spider-Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Stan Lee wrote them. Jack Kirby designed them. You know, Stan Lee wasn't the artist. Jack Kirby was. Captain America, Spider-Man. That's a whole other subject for another time. But think about like the mutants. What was going on back then in the '60s? A very turbulent time as far as segregation,
Yeah.
stuff like that. X-Men were kind of Stan Lee's way of writing about people can be different, but we should all still come together for the greater good.
I can see
You know
that.
what I mean?
I still feel like DC represents its fair share of underdogs, though.
I think DC for me, other than Batman, and I like some of the DC stuff, but I don't know, man. I think DC, I see Superman. I can't
Yeah.
relate to Superman,
I don't relate to Superman either, but I do love Batman and Arrow. I just can't.
but like Superman,
always-
it's like it's got to be an alien fucking rock that brings him down. Only thing that brings him down.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know.
But he
that's
was
not-
the.
He's a fucking Boy Scout. He gets called that. The All-American Boy Scout. You're boring, bro.
But he is the
Fucking
intro.
boring.
But he came around in the 50s, so he was literally the introduction into comic books. Like without Superman, there are not comic books. There are not comic book movies. There's not our geek culture right now. So I don't like Superman particularly either, and I think Smallville is garbage. I think
Yeah, I agree.
that's some of the worst garbage that's ever been on TV. But at the same time, like I sort of respect Superman for
starting it.
Yeah.
Right, and then plus, as far as with the Marvel thing, also you've got the X-Men kind of underdogs, outcast, and then you had all of us could relate to Spider-Man in one way or the other. Peter Parker, more importantly, that's kind of being a nerd, being the geeky guy or whatever, and then being able to have these powers, and be able to affect change. And you think about it, back when these comics came out, how many people were related to Peter Parker? Sitting in the corner of the classroom, whatever, because bullying was a lot different than what it is now.
Broken family kind of thing.
Right, exactly. So even if you still had mom and dad, you still could be an outcast at school. But Stan Lee and Jack Kirby tapped in to this vibe that people just attracted to. Then you had like Fantastic Four, a family with different powers, and everybody, as much as they sometimes don't get along with each other, I can pick on my brother, but if you fuck with my brother, I'm coming for you. You know what I mean? That's what always, to me, Marvel Comics has always kind of underlined something about the underdog to me.
Okay.
One of the things that I've seen, I've been reading X-Men for decades. I've always saw Marvel, their characters, as being more flawed and more human than DC characters. The DC characters have always been more godlike.
Right.
Especially when you look at Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern. Their powers are... Maybe you got Thanos and Thor at the same level as them in the Marvel Universe, but with the exception of Galactus, I mean, they've always been much more powerful, but the Marvel characters always seem like more the everyday people that got superpowers.
They started out normal and something changed them.
Yeah, or they're always flawed, like the Fantastic Four has their family issues. Peter Parker has college, and school and girlfriend issues.
Aunt May, don't forget about Aunt May.
Jessica Jones is just fucked up.
In regards to DC, though, I like Superman and Batman kind of equally. Superman, like you said, he started it, but Superman is the one, he's the ideal. He's way super overpowered, but he always tries to do the right thing, and I like those hurdles that he tries to go through to maintain that. On the other hand, I'm really like Batman, because Batman, to me, is just a heartbeat away from becoming the Joker. He's just as psychotic as the people he goes against.
Right.
And I like watching his storyline, how he maintains that line without crossing over as well.
I can see that.
And that's how they both kind of appeal to me.
Yeah, he's definitely not the Boy Scout type, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But even as dark and as gritty as Batman is, he won't use a gun. Will not use guns.
Will never kill.
Absolutely will not use a gun.
Yeah. And that's where the Punisher is kind of boring to me. I mean,
that's all he does, shoot the hell out of people.
You're just willing to kill the enemy. I mean, I don't know. I never got into the Punisher too much, but Batman, even though he's dark, he's gritty, he still won't kill. He will not kill the Joker. He will try to put him away and get him help.
I've always been drawn to the Punisher, the Batmans, the Iron Mans, literally just a guy that decides, I'm going to do something about the situation, the neighborhood, the world we're living in. And yeah, Batman has lots of money and martial arts training, et cetera, but at the core, he's just a guy. Yeah, I like taking the hero or the super part out of the hero. I think I kind of love that.
And all the different things he faces, like talking about Darkseid and the parademons or whatever. Batman as a regular dude sitting there fighting alongside gods, for lack of a better term,
right, does
more than hold his own.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's a step ahead of everybody.
Yeah. I guess I'm very middle ground. I don't like one more than I like the other. I'm that weird middle of the road geek that is like, no, I think they both have their merits. Right.
That's the only thing about Batman, though. I don't think Batman belongs at the same power level as Superman and the rest of them.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm getting a really bad echo here, but it's just Batman. If you look at when he first came about, he went up against gangsters, lower level criminals, and he became popular over the decades. And then they started including him with the Justice League and along with the other heroes like Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and the like.
Do you think they all laughed at him behind his back?
Well, that guy is a lower power level. He's not at the same power level as the rest, but you have to write him to be able to hold his own against them. But I think some of the best stories have been Batman against the Joker, Batman against Bane or the Riddler, not against Batman against Darkseid or Batman against Doomsday.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll throw one out for you guys, though. I have the trade paperback at home, and it's called the Justice League Tower of Babel. And what happens in it is somehow Batman's... They actually... Warner Brothers did an animated movie, something similar to what the story was in the comic books, where Batman's Batcave gets infiltrated. And what Batman has is he's got a backup plan against every single member of the Justice League. In case something happens,
That
they
is
get
so
taken
Batman.
over.
I've heard of that, yeah.
He's got a backup plan, so the villains kind of team up and they get it and they use it to where like Wonder Woman gets into this kind of like Oculus type rift type deal to where she's in a never-ending battle. She won't stop fighting. The whole thing is she's going to keep fighting until her heart gives out. In the comic book, the Green Lantern in the comic book is Kyle Rayner, and the power of the Green Lantern is to make anything you see out of the ring, and he's a comic book artist. Well, he goes blind, so he's fucked off. The Flash has a never-ending seizure, but he's having seizures at Flash speed. Martian Manhunter slipped a drug where he thinks he's on fire, and it's just like, and all of it comes from Batman. All of
Save me, Tom Cruise.
something happens where Superman gets injected with some I can't remember, something to do with red kryptonite. He's fucked off. So basically, all the JLA is dismantled from Batman. His plans, his mind. Like if anybody ever got control of you, or you went bad, or you went rogue for whatever reason, you guys are the most powerful people on the face of the earth. Someone has to be there to stop you. And then he even had his own backup plan for himself. If something happened to him, it had something to do with Ra's al Ghul's Lazarus Pit or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was a really damn cool story. But again, that's why I think, like people have the discussion about Batman versus Superman, the movie coming out. It's like, well, Superman will win in a fight. You got to remember something. Batman's smart and Batman will cheat. Straight up.
All right. Well, we got off on a little bit of a tangent there, but
I'm back, people.
so you're watching other stuff too, right?
Yeah. I saw Hateful Eight.
What did you watch, the 70mm version or just the standard version?
Just standard.
Okay.
Standard. Not as much to say about it as I'd like. It's typical Tarantino. It's very gory. Plenty of vulgarity right off the bat. One thing that I think is cool is if you haven't seen it, it takes place pretty much all in just one little snowed-in shack. I like the idea that it's kind of like the stranded on an island thing. It's literally every bit of that movie for the most part takes place in one little room, and you got a bunch of dudes in one room that have to go through the whole story separately, but within eyesight of each other. So I think it's cool. It's to me not his best work, but it's definitely good. I think when I saw the trailers for it, I was really worried that it was just going to be a sequel to Django.
Okay.
Damn near the same story. A bunch of bounty hunters riding around on horses in the snow trying to, drop the N-word as much as they can. But it wasn't. It was totally different. It did have bounty hunters in it, but that's pretty much where the resemblance stopped. So it's pretty good.
Gotcha.
Not as good, but it's good.
My mom was on Facebook just totally hating on the movie, but my mom for some reason never heard of Quentin Tarantino.
Really?
So why my mom went to see this movie was because she saw Kurt Russell was a cowboy.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, I love Tombstone."
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Not
Like,
If you're going expecting Tombstone, I can see why.
yeah, and I'm like, "Mom, you should have told me you were going to see this because I totally would have told you not to avoid it because it's a
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino movie." So
He's definitely a cowboy. I mean, that's about where it stops.
I'm sure it's like the vulgarity and everything. They're just,
it's
they're very traditional.
and just normal Tarantino. It's insanely gory. If somebody dies, it's with 75 gallons of blood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it got even worse in Django Unchained, so I can imagine how much worse it is here.
This one's actually not worse than Django. Not even as bad, I would say, but it's definitely
Gory.
same caliber.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's good. Also, for the gearhead, I mean, I know. I've also been watching a ton of Roadkill on YouTube. Are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not. I saw that you put that out there, and I'm like, what is that?
You guys are all kind of Top Gear fans, right?
I
To some
love
extent.
Top Gear.
Roadkill is done by Motor Trend Magazine. It's a couple of editors that they have 3 or 4 web series on YouTube that are really good, but this is the best, I think. Very similar to Top Gear, low budget out of the garage Top Gear.
Okay.
It's just a couple of guys that do stupid stunts with cars.
It's like the challenges from Top Gear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So like Top Gear USA?
Yeah, except not as crappy.
Okay.
Like, and now they're actually starting to step up their game a little bit. They're getting some sponsors, so they're actually like driving Hellcats every week and stuff because Dodge is paying the bill for them. But in the beginning, especially, I think they have 60 some odd episodes right now, 25 to 45 minutes long. But in the beginning, they're doing stuff like at one time they have a car, he grabs his mom's El Camino, that like one owner car, and it needs a motor. So they talk about how every time you do a motor job, you end up having to drive to the parts store 400 times because of the stuff you forgot or didn't know you need, right? So instead of doing that, they jump in it in Los Angeles and they drive it to Sparks, Nevada, to the Summit Racing store and change the motor in the parking lot.
Nice.
Like it's great.
That is awesome.
They realize that, you know, the thing's got a broken rocker arm, so they pop the valve cover off and just take the broken one out and drive it up there on 7 cylinders. And I mean, they start doing it in the parking lot with the they assume they're going to have it done in like 6 or 7 hours. Ended up taking them like 2.5 days, and they're working in the snow and stuff. It's great. I mean, they do stuff like they have one where they take a Ranchero and decide they're going to go race on an ice lake in Alaska, so they drive it there. They fail. Couple years later, they try it again and finally make it. And they drive it from L.A. to Alaska. They race on an ice lake and then drive home. They do horrible. Wow. But the cool thing about them is...
Now I gotta watch it.
It's kind of like Top Gear, except they almost always fail at what their challenge is. That's what's great about it. They do.
Jeremy doesn't always win.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They pull up, you know, they've done a lot of them where they'll... one of the recent episodes, they wanted to drive a stock car across country, but... they couldn't. One of the things the lawyer stepped in said that it doesn't have a VIN number. They can't insure it. So they went and bought an old Monte Carlo and cut the body up and glued it to a stock car so that they could go and drive it across the country. Like we're talking like an IMCA or a street stock or whatever, put a body on it, drive it across the country kind of thing. So it's pretty good. And there's literally, I want to say there's close to 60 episodes of it. Now, it's been going on for like 4 years. But,
oh, yeah. See, now I'm going to totally binge it.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I think I'm up to like 40 or so, and I've only known about it for maybe 2 weeks.
That's
now,
awesome.
So.
I had no idea.
It's good.
How in the hell do I not know? I'm a huge car nut. How do I not know this exists?
I just stumbled across it too, but it's they have a couple of episodes. They have most of them are more like road and track type shows, though. You know, they're actually going out and let's take this brand new car and see how fast it'll go around the track or whatever. But this one, no, they're doing stuff with most of their cars are like $1,000 cars. Like they had one recently where they were giving away a car, but it needed a bunch of work. They were giving it away in like Kentucky or something. So they left California with parts, and every night when they stopped or on the side of the road, they'd start working on it. You know, like they stop at a restaurant parking lot and add some fuel injection and. Eventually they spray paint it so it's a different color, and they work on it the whole drive. And you know they've driven like 1,200 horsepower Camaros across the country, and they do crazy stuff on very low budget, especially in the beginning.
So I guess my question is, it like Top Gear where like Jeremy's in his Porsche and he breaks a fucking strut tower, so they show him get out the toolkit or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna fix this, and then they cut to May and
no,
you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like
it's repaired,
and then like 20 minutes later, like a strut tower that like went through is like totally repaired. Probably
and he's got a little spot of grease on his nose or something.
Needed major structural work, and no, it's all good now. We're all right.
No, that's my favorite thing about it is it's really like a lot of times they give cars away and stuff, but they always do all the side of their own work. It's a lot of times it's right on the side of the highway. They've wrecked a couple of cars. They've had a couple catch fire. All of their really bad luck is always when they manage to make it across Arizona.
Did they do the challenge? Were they the ones that were doing the challenge with the white Challenger from that movie where they went and did that race across America or whatever? Not the Gumball Rally, but the one where they go to the different racetracks?
Yeah, the drag week thing.
Yeah,
they've done that. Yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't remember a white Challenger, but they've done drag week thing.
I remember a group that did when the white Challenger came out. There was some. What was the name of that? What was the name of that movie? There was some movie. There's a video game. Vanishing Point is the name of the movie. That had
Steve McQueen?
Yeah, that had an old white Challenger in it. I can't remember. It had a special license plate number.
If they have, I haven't seen it yet. That
I think that might have been.
Yeah, because they talked about that car in another Quentin Tarantino movie with Kurt Russell in it. Whatchamacallit? Death Proof.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Because the girls, one of the stunt girls finds the Vanishing Point car, and that's kind of where the story begins or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they raced across America. They did the race across America where they go to all the different tracks and do the race and then drive the car to the next track.
Yeah, they've done a ton that ends up in Arizona. They've been snowed in Flagstaff. They came out to some shooting range and drove a tank over a Prius.
Oh, sweet! Now I gotta find that.
The Prius they smashed with a tank. They towed here from L.A. with a gremlin. With a tow bar, the gremlin breaks down. I mean, it's great.
If they could just run over a Kia Soul, I would be all set.
They talk about there's one, when they're very low budget, so there's been times where they break down and their auto clubs won't come out and rescue them because they're driving cars with no registration and stuff like that. I mean, they have all kinds of issues. So it's real good. It's definitely
on motortrend.com.
It's on YouTube.
Roadkill, and it's called Roadkill.
Roadkill. Just search for Roadkill.
I'm there.
Good.
I'm finding it.
Awesome. I love it. The other thing I've been following this week is the Dakar rally's been going on this week, and they're again a huge gearhead, so I like following Dakar, and I'm a huge Robbie Gordon fan, so I like following anything he does, which he's been kind of a joke throughout this race. It's kind of funny, but they've been having all kinds of trouble. It's been storming like mad down there, so they had to cancel the first stage. First day they had a woman driver like 4 miles in go off and hit a bunch of people that were just standing on the side of the road watching. Ended up killing at least one of them.
Damn.
Big old mess. Robbie Gordon's come out during this and said that he's accused the Peugeot team of cheating. That's been great. Said that there's no way their cars can go as fast as their supposedly stock motors are letting these cars go. And,
Well, it is a Peugeot.
yeah. Well, they haven't won a stage in like 20 years, and they've won almost every stage this whole event. So,
That is a little weird.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, they were on the verge of bankruptcy for
Definitely.
years and years and years. So
So they're doing great, but it's like there was a stage where a bunch of people got stuck in the mud. For some reason, a lot of these stages, they're going through cities this year and villages and stuff, so almost half the race has speed limits. So tons
That's
of
weird.
guys are getting docked for speeding in a race. Yeah, it's Robbie Gordon himself lost over an hour in speed penalties on one day for speeding.
because he was speeding.
Because he was speeding in the Dakar rally. Yep.
Wow.
Ran out of gas one day, blamed it on the elevation because they weren't thinking right and didn't put enough gas in the car.
I can see that kind of thing.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's been pretty interesting, but that's about it. I mean, it's definitely unique. I mean, it's almost 6,000 miles this year, 5,700 miles I think it is, and they got the giant. I love watching the giant trucks race at the end of
Yeah,
semi
like
class.
almost cargo
Yeah, exactly.
box
'Cause
trucks
where
and
can
stuff.
you see that stuff other than Dakar?
Yeah.
80,000-pound trucks racing across the desert and jumping and plowing through lakes and stuff. It's pretty good. It's been
That's awesome.
interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm totally gonna have to go see that Roadkill because
It's great. I mean,
man.
It's going to get at least 3 more views, maybe 4 per episode.
the cool thing I like about Roadkill is not only is it good, but most of the episodes are less than 30 minutes long, so you can totally knock it out on your phone when you're sitting around waiting
like
for
on
something to
lunch
do.
break or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
That's
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
good.
Very cool. John, what have you been watching?
Well, Helen and I finally watched a movie that's, I don't even remember when it came out, but Scary Movie 5. And I watched
Definitely
the
your kind of movie.
I watched the first one and kind of liked it, but then I kind of checked out. I like Anna Faris and everything, but and I love parodies. I love that whole genre of movie, but Scary Movie just kind of lost me. And Helen and I were checking out Netflix, and let's give it a shot. It was really good. It was
Really?
hilarious. Yeah, it was funny.
I haven't
Okay.
watched it either. I expected it to
just-
suck as
yeah.
bad as the first couple.
The first one, I just remember, no child, my good hand.
Yeah.
That's the
Like,
second one, man.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay, then
Chris
I
Elliott,
watched at
the
least the
second one.
first 2.
strong hand.
But yeah, it was up there.
It's
It was
like
good.
stirring the soup with it.
I mean, it was stupid, and don't expect any
What's that shit? The second one, David
Academy
Cross.
Award-winning performances.
Speaking of stupid, you watched something else too, didn't you? Sorry. Something kind of related to the Hateful Eight.
Okay, yeah. We watched The Ridiculous Six.
I almost watched that.
Amanda and I started it this morning. We got through the first 10 minutes and like, you good? You good? Yeah, let's turn this shit off.
You need to finish it. You need to finish it.
Guess who at my house thought that movie was hilarious? Jordan.
I want to hear what I honestly want to hear your thoughts about it. But
Honestly, I went in expecting. I've heard a couple people say it's pretty good, but going by 10,000 Ways to Die in the West or whatever, plus Adam Sandler's complete decline into blah.
yeah,
I was like, all right, I was expecting to watch
A Million
like
Ways
10
to Die in
minutes
the
or
West was
something,
garbage, too.
But I was going to give
I
it a
actually
shot.
liked that one.
did you?
I liked it.
All
but
the
it
funny
wasn't as
parts
good
were
as
in
I-
the preview.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree.
I'll
I like
give A
just the
Million Ways to
corniness
Die
of it.
a hell of a lot more credit than the Stinkful Six, whatever it is, because At least Seth MacFarlane put effort into the fucking movie. You get a couple musical pieces.
Have you watched it?
He tries in the movie. Adam Sandler, he's just looking there with the same dumb fucking face he had in Pixels. Same shit.
Did you watch it with him?
I watched about... Cassandra and Jordan put it on. And she kind of giggled at a couple things. Jordan thought a couple of fart jokes with the horse shitting all over the fucking place. Thought that was funny. And I'm kind of sitting there thinking, like, God damn, I remember when Adam Sandler first came out, man, you couldn't wait to get to the theater to see an Adam Sandler movie because it was fucking hilarious. But I could watch The Waterboy right now and laugh my goddamn
Yeah, Waterboy's hilarious.
I love The Longest Yard. The Longest Yard's a good fucking
Longest Yard's good. Happy Gilmore.
Jesus.
Billy Madison is
Billy Madison was good. Me and my buddy watched that in the theater probably 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah, I enjoyed it back then, but I watched it recently, and I was just kind of like...
Yeah, this came out when we were in high school.
Reading something in Entertainment Weekly, and this is actually a couple years back, and they were talking about one of his other films that flopped. I think it was the one that reteamed him and Drew Barrymore, Blended. That movie where they go to Africa and stuff like that. And it flopped in the theaters. You know, they thought putting those two back together from The Wedding Singer would make a hit.
And 51st
Date's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I like that one.
The Wedding Singer's awesome. Love Wedding Singer. But the studio exec in the interview, they said, well, you know, Adam Sandler movie haven't been doing as well. They're not producing it well because for a while, every summer, you'd get an Adam Sandler movie. And it'd be blockbuster. But the studio exec, and I think this is about 3-4 years ago almost, apologize if I'm wrong, said, the Adam Sandler business is still a very good business to be in. I'd like to ask that guy right now, you still in a good business? You know,
I'm sure he makes money, hand over fist.
Adam Sandler makes fucking money.
Yeah.
But the studio has to spend money to make these fucking movies, and are they getting a return? Not for the last 4 fucking years on his movies. No.
This one was a straight to Netflix movie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so he signed a big ass deal with Netflix.
Yeah,
He's getting paid again.
Well, we were talking, and she was like, God, that movie was awful. How was Joe Dirt too? And I'm like, no! Don't ruin your memories of Joe Dirt.
Yeah,
don't do that.
But yeah, at the end of this movie, I said, and he completely redeemed himself. I thought he did a good job in it. He didn't feel like he was mailing it in like the last 8 to 12 movies or whatever he's done. We really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's sophomoric humor and fart jokes and whatnot and everything, but I thought it was really good. I liked it a lot more than I did the 10,000 Ways to Die in the West, and I liked that one.
So what's the storyline? Like, what is it about?
It's about this major criminal, gambler, bad guy, gunman.
The guy with the eye patch? Oh, no, this is Liam Neeson. No, Liam Neeson was Million Ways to Die in the West.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't have an eye patch in that movie. Never mind. Go ahead, John.
Well,
No, the bad guys in the beginning of this one. I only watched 10 minutes of it. They had eye patches. Like, we all cut out our eyes.
that was a different gang.
Oh, okay.
It was a completely separate gang.
Show how hardcore we are.
But yeah, Adam Sandler's trying to find this money to save his newly found dad, because Adam Sandler was raised by Indians and everything. And along his travels, he keeps meeting brothers that were fathered by this guy that, I guess, spread his seed throughout the West.
In there.
And they just kind of join in all together, and they're like, you know, we got to meet our father, he's dying, and we at least want to meet him and everything. And it's just the story of, we got to get this money to save our dad that we're just meeting, but he's not necessarily a good guy, but they don't care, they want to meet him anyway. And it's just, I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's really good. I liked it.
Maybe I'll give it another shot, but like we're drinking our coffee and like, you okay? You good? We done with this?
It really surprises me that you were going in with, after the talks on the podcast and stuff, expecting crap because it was Adam Sandler and being let down.
Well, it's partly because I made the mistake of reading previews before I read it, or before I started watching it. So.
Okay. Well, go in with lower expectations, brother.
Yeah.
It's an Adam Sandler.
But my expectations were low because I read the previews.
Right.
Well,
okay.
Terry says there's a horse shitting in it. I mean, that's
always good.
Hey, that happens in Metal Gear Solid 5, and I like Metal Gear
I was
Solid
going to
5.
say, you guys rave about the video game where the horse shits all the time. Why not watch the movie where he does?
What was that, Murph?
I said that's at least 1.5 stars right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Horse shitting. Huh?
You ever watched a horse shit that you didn't giggle at least a little bit?
I've never seen anything shit that I haven't laughed my ass off.
And then you started a television series that I have been recommending to you forever.
Yes, and love it. Helen and I finally finished the first season.
iZombie?
Yep, iZombie. To me, it felt like they should have stopped with episode 12. I don't know if you remember. That felt like a season ender to us.
What happened in episode 12?
I've never seen it.
Yeah, you're gonna watch
Spoilers.
it? God, there's watched so much stuff I can't really remember which episode's which, but there was a lot of I think it's where the brother got kidnapped and held in that freezer and stuff, and a couple other things that felt like, okay, that's a cliffhanger ending. That's a cliffhanger ending. Okay, they're gonna finish this next season. They're gonna finish this, and then there was another episode. And to me, they should have stopped with episode 12, because now there's not as much holding me to wait for the next season to hit Netflix. I'm sure I'll get back into it, but I'm not going to be like, ooh, edging,
They cleaned up too much.
Yeah,
before
they cleaned up
closed.
too much before this.
What happens
season,
to the brother at the end of that episode?
I can't remember. I think he's still in the freezer. I think he finds the lighter at the end of the episode, and then doesn't use it until the next episode, I think.
All right.
I can't remember, but I think he was
I don't want to give too much away,
I
but
think
there's
still
some
trapped.
there's some
at
weird
the
shit
end
that
of
goes on
season.
with that. So I don't
I've
wanna-
watched
For
the
that
first
episode.
probably 6 episodes, give or take, of it. I like it. I'm not blown away by it by any means.
It's
but
just fun.
It's definitely worth watching. I don't think it didn't hold my attention enough to where I couldn't go to bed without finishing.
Oh,
it
for
kind
sure.
of thing,
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
yeah.
definitely worth watching.
It's just fun. It's lighthearted. It's not too serious, and
Yeah.
the characters are decent, and you don't have to think,
Yeah.
which
It's like
sometimes is like a great thing.
What,
Like you
does
just
Michael Bay direct this shit, or what? You don't
no,
have to think?
it's a CW show, so you don't
It's-
have
yeah,
to
it's a
think.
CW
It's
show.
like a family friendly zombie show.
Yeah, it's very, and it's based on a pseudo DC Comics universe. So she's actually in the same universe as the Arrow and the Flash right now. Although she doesn't, they sort of mention the Arrow, I think, in like one episode. They talk about Oliver Queen.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's just very lighthearted.
And is it just me, or could it be Murder, She Wrote with zombies? They don't necessarily need the evil bad guy, like the super villain,
Yeah.
to be in it to make it good. I don't need that aspect of it. I'm
You've
fine
got-
with her just
Have you gotten
solving
to the
crimes and
supervillain, the
stuff.
actual supervillain?
In the first season, it would be the other blonde zombie guy.
The brain.
Oh, okay, so you haven't gotten to the
The
actual
brain dealer,
supervillain.
yeah.
Okay, you haven't gotten to the actual supervillain.
We just
yet.
finished the first season.
Okay, I think you've seen him though.
Okay,
He's the
then
dude
it's probably
from.
the Slurm.
Yeah, Slurm. Yeah, Slurm. Yeah, Slurm owner. Whatever the hell they call that. Energy
Yeah,
drink.
Red Bull something.
Yeah. But good. I'm glad you like it. I saw that, and I was like, man, this is from the first episode. I'm like, this is John's kind of show. Like, this is just, it's sort of irreverent and it's zombie related, and she like makes all these different dishes with with dead
sauce.
brains and stuff.
It was all about the hot
and
sauce,
all
man.
the
It's
hot
gotta be hot.
sauce, and so yeah, totally. And then you're still playing. You actually reached like the top 500 of worldwide players.
Yeah, on Heroes Charge.
Yeah.
I'm still playing that every day, but I just recently acquired a Kindle Fire HD,
Oh, really?
and that's an Amazon market, not the Google Android market.
Yes.
So I went ahead and downloaded it on there and started over. So I've got 2 accounts. I'm kind of bouncing back and forth now.
Nice.
So I've got an alt on Heroes Charge. I'm addicted. I don't know what to tell you.
That's funny.
But I also started a game that I really kind of liked, Magic Rush Heroes.
What's that?
It was another Google app,
Okay.
and it's the same type of game, but it also incorporated tower defense, and the heroes you use in the tower defense are the actual heroes from your group and everything. So it was really a cool take on it, and I was having fun playing it and everything, but switched to a new phone, and every other app I've played, I've played a bunch of them, they either save to Google Plus or Facebook, or it prompts you, hey, set up an account to save your game. Well, I assumed that since it didn't prompt me, it was automatically saved to the Google Cloud. No, not the case.
Totally lost it?
Yeah, I opened it up, or had to re-download it, open it up. I'm like, nope, not starting over. So if you do decide to give that a shot because you like the Heroes Charge type game and tower defense games, it's really cool, but make sure to save your game.
Don't do it if you're about to upgrade.
Yeah, or save your games.
Or back up your Google app data or something.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can do that kind of stuff too. Cool. Awesome. I guess it's my turn. It was the holiday, so, I had a couple of days off and some half days and whatnot, and I sat down and watched movies that I'd seen were added to, like, Amazon Prime and stuff like that I've wanted to watch for a long time that Amanda was just not interested in for whatever reason. So I sat down, and the first one I watched was Interstellar.
Okay.
Okay? And the only thing I have to say about Interstellar is that movie is way the hell overrated.
Really?
Who's in that one? Which one is that?
Matthew
McConaughey.
McConaughey
Oh, that's right,
and what's her name?
The cool thing about Stellars is they're inner, and we stay the no. different movie, Sorry.
We're launching up into space. We're about to break Earth's orbit. All right.
So, like, I really liked the movie up until about 3/4 of the way through. And then, like, it sort of lost me. Like, I got where they were going with it, and it was kind of a Sixth Sense kind of moment.
And then he drove a Lincoln to outer space.
Yes. No, what's cool about that movie is he used to go to space before he got paid for it, just because he liked it.
Yeah. So, the original hipster. But, like, it lost me about 3/4 of the way through the movie. Like, the whole movie, he's arguing and fighting, and not even, like, in a flirty way with what's-her-name.
Jessica Chastain? Is she the one that's in
No, it's Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. So it's Anne Hathaway, and he's like arguing
I'm
with her the whole
semi-interested
time.
again.
They don't.
Or semi-something,
She's
yeah.
hot,
Yeah.
but like they don't seem to get along, like at fucking all. And like at the end, he sees his daughter, who is now like 90 years old, laying in a bed about to fucking die, and he's still the same age as he was pretty much when he left or whatever. And she's like,
Apparently he stays the same age.
basically, she's just like, because they left Anne Hathaway in the other galaxy, she's like, go chase the love of your life. And like, they didn't love each other the whole movie. Like, it was like this weird thing where like it was, what? They didn't even fucking like each other. He was probably like
they
glad
played
to get rid of the bitch.
Christopher Nolan directed that, correct?
Yeah.
There's another one of his that he did. What was the one, man, with DiCaprio, and they go in the dream world and they could change shit or something like that. Like they were in a dream within a dream within a dream.
Deception.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I don't get that
Was it?
movie.
Deception. Or
Inception.
Inception.
Oh, yeah.
Deception.
Yeah, like
Somethingception.
the whole reason why I don't want to watch
Inception.
Interstellar is because I remember watching Inception. And I'm like, I didn't get that fucking movie.
I liked
This
Inception.
looks like another mind. This looks like another mind fuck. I don't go to the movies to be confused. I want to have a good time.
This movie's not a mindfuck. It's obvious where they're going, and they have a Sixth Sense moment. Like, I don't think very many people have made that connection, but like it's it was him the whole time, and it was like, okay, well, that was stupid. And I don't know, like I just felt like the movie was way overrated. I didn't care for it at all. By the end of it, it was too long, and it just, I don't know, it just fell off at the end. I was like, they hated each other. There's why is he chasing after her like she's his
But how
love
come, like
of
in the
his
last
life?
couple of years, when people are comparing, outer space movies that have recently come out, the two you always hear about is Interstellar and The Martian.
The Martian is brilliant.
To me, it seems like there's no comparison. The Martian rules ass over Interstellar.
Oh, for sure.
But people keep comparing the two for whatever reason.
I think because they're grounded in reality. They're what's called hard science fiction, where it's
feasible.
Yeah, there are probably parts of Interstellar that aren't feasible, but it's still hard science. Like the way that time works and all of that stuff, it's all kind of the same thing, right? So, but The Martian is a far better movie, just overall.
That's
Way
one of the
better
best
movie.
movies I've seen this year. I
Oh,
think.
it's so good.
definitely.
Would you classify The Martian as a popcorn flick?
No. Jurassic Park's a popcorn flick.
Okay. I haven't seen it, so I'm just your guys' opinion.
No, The Martian is something you want to sit down and watch and like absorb and
I mean, you can eat popcorn while you watch it.
I hope so.
yeah,
Popcorn.
drink a beer. I mean, but
I would
But yeah,
categorize The Martian like
you might-
Castaway and movies like that. I mean, it's
pretty epic.
I think it's going to be one of
It's
those
good.
that's epic and lasts forever.
yeah, it's a great movie. Interstellar, not worth your time. The other one I watched, I'm not going to talk too much about it, but Ex Machina.
Familiar with it.
Isn't
Has
that a
anybody
type of
seen it?
cheese?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but
It's not. I don't think it's worth your time. Like a lot of people said, it was one of the best movies of 2015. I just didn't like it. This guy who works for a Facebook clone called Blue Book goes to the mansion of the guy who owns Facebook, who actually looks more like Sergey from Google. But he's building an artificial intelligence, and then the artificial intelligence manipulates him, and then, she kills the guy who created her, and then locks the guy who she manipulated in
Oh, I've seen that. It's called Terminator. It's
in
called
a
Skynet.
room. Yeah, it's not quite as violent. And then like the last scene is her like walking around the city or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, whatever. It didn't pull me in any way. I just didn't feel like I was. I don't know.
That's
I just
based
didn't care
off
for
of
it.
an anime movie, right?
No, it's its own thing,
So
and
I'm
it's
thinking it
very.
was based off like an anime. Or a
No,
comic
it's very.
book or
It's
something.
It sounds like an anime type.
Yeah.
it sounds like the song. That's like you're imagining.
What was that?
Sounds like the Cylons from the Battlestar Galactica reimagining.
Yeah, it is very very much.
Intelligence manipulates the humans that created them, and then they end up doing away with the humans that created them, and then they go wander on, establish their own, I don't know, existence in the world.
Yeah, the difference is that this is very like artsy and emo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I don't feel it.
You need to cut yourself while you watch it to make.
Yeah,
it
exactly.
So what do you think? Like the set design is taking more of set design, and the costuming is taking more of a forefront than the actual story itself. Is supposed to be like really neat to look at.
No, it's not that. It's just that it's artsy and emo. Like the whole thing is the whole
Sort of
feeling,
like
the whole
a couple
script.
of Adam Sandler movies there a couple years back.
Yeah, it's
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch
and
Drunk Love. Yeah, just artsy and emo.
Spanglish. And
It's not that the sets are grand or anything like
we're
that.
going
It's
to
just
try and tell a really cool story.
but in like a totally hipster and douchebag way. Like I'm so depressed, and this is my view of society as a whole.
To me, it sounds like listening to a fucking Nirvana CD. I'll pass.
I like In Utero. I can't. I like In Utero, but I get where you're
Don't
going.
get me started on fucking Nirvana.
But yeah, that's kind of what I feel about that. I started watching it because it's
I'm
been
with
the
you there, Terry.
What was that?
I said I'm with Terry on that one.
Because it's been the mid-season break for all of the shows that I normally watch. I was scrolling through Hulu, and I'm like, I want to watch something anime, because it's been a while since I've sat down and watched anime.
RedTube doesn't take season breaks.
But YouTube Red, RedTube, whatever.
Hey man,
I got
WWE's
confused
still
by the
on.
name, so yeah.
You can also watch WWE Network.
And
It's
ironically,
free for your
with
first month.
No.
with YouTube,
But-
ironically, with YouTube Red,
oh, you haven't tried VR yet, have you?
Not yet.
Oh shit, we
try it.
got
I was hoping you'd bring that up. Hey,
No,
last
the
time
WWE
I left,
thing
I was supposed to try Battlefront. Didn't get to try Battlefront. I'm
You
not
have it
leaving
now.
here. I have it now, but I'm not going to get.
the VR.
Babe, okay, guess what I want for Christmas next year?
Yeah.
I want the VR Oculus Rift. Oh, what's that? It's only $600.
Oh, fuck that. We'll talk about that during
Okay,
the
yeah.
news, because I'm really bitter.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is soon. Christmas.
Yeah.
I hate
So I was looking for an anime to watch, and like I have a friend that is really into Sword Art Online. It's an anime called Sword Art Online. I've heard people say that it's good. I've just never gotten into it because I knew it was like an anime based in an MMO, like a fictional MMO.
That makes me interested, except for the anime part of it.
Oh, see, I love anime.
I do.
Hey guys, I got a text from work. I'm gonna step a second. I'll be right back.
Okay, no
Okay,
problem.
brother.
All right, Murph.
But so I started watching Sword Art Online, and like it is so good. The story hooks you in. The characters are mature and not like anime immature. They're like they're kids, but they're not the annoying kids you find in American cartoons. They've got some emotional depth and
See, I heard you talk about that, and I looked it up, and I'm like, that sounds like a really cool premise, but I still haven't been able to bring myself to watch it, even though I really want to check it out, just because anime is garbage to me.
it's got the feels, man. It is so good. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it's weird because like each season feels like 2 seasons. It's 28 episodes long, and like 14 is a hard cut. So like whatever ends in 14 ends, and then they move on to whatever the next storyline is. It's like a hard cut. There's not even much transition. Like there's not even a whole lot of explanation why certain things change. Like, but it's really really solid. It is really really good, and I'm almost done with season 2, and I'm just loving the hell
I'm
out
with
of it.
John on anime to an extent. I remember growing up. I think probably most of our first exposure to anime was Voltron.
Yeah, Voltron,
You know,
and to a lesser extent,
Either one of the series, the
some of the
Space
other-
Voltron and
U-porn.
Lion
U-porn.
Voltron. And I remember being a kid, because they always had them in a block after school. You get your He-Man Filmation Studios, you'd get Transformers and G.I. Joe, which is pretty much, I think it was Marvel, Hasbro type deal for those cartoons, and obviously done by Sunbow, I think was what the name of the company was. You saw the similarities in that animation. Thundercats was really good. And if you think about it, if you look back, Thundercats was kind of
it's-
anime.
It was anime.
It was
Right.
pushing the limit of the Voltron anime.
Right, but I used to always, as far as a kid, because I loved reading comic books, and I loved to try to draw, but my favorite art was always like the G.I. Joe Transformers style. And I only watched Voltron because I thought the robots looked cool, but I used to hate it when they talked. You know what I mean? And I just don't. the look of anime does not appeal to me whatsoever.
It's a lot different than it was back when we were kids.
Right.
I think that's why a lot of people are turned off by anime is because
I liked the anime when we were kids, but the present stuff
I didn't
I've
like
tried
it
to
then.
watch, like Ghost in the Shell and stuff, my buddies were really into.
I don't care for Ghost in the Shell.
I mean, Attack on Titan and stuff.
I like Attack on
Kara's
Titan.
tried to get me to watch that, and
Attack on Titan's cool because it's a cool story.
Yeah, it's a cool story. But that's why I like Sword Art Online is because it's a cool story. If it's garbage anime, if it's fucking Yokai and Watch or Pokemon or like I don't give a shit about that stuff. It's obviously targeted at kids. It has no depth, but like in Japan, you know, anime is made for adults. It's not necessarily made for children. They have their version of it, but like most of it is very grown up. And you know, I dig it. And Sword Art Online has some of the best storytelling I've seen in any show I've watched in many, many years, and it's just good.
question, but is Sword Art the name of the MMO that they're stuck in?
The first one.
Okay.
They actually go through like I'm midway through the second season, and they go through 3 different MMOs.
Wow.
So Sword Art ends.
Why did they keep playing? They're
Sword Art
stupid.
ends at episode 14. Well, I mean, the whole premise is the first 14 episodes, they're trapped in an MMO. They've got this VR, like, thing on their heads that, like, puts them into it and puts their body in kind of a stasis. And what happens is the guy who created that headset creates Sword Art Online, and, like, he hacks it or whatever. So, like, if they can't log out, there's no log out option, and if anybody tries to remove it, it like stops their
It's
heart.
like that South Park episode.
Sounds like The
They had to-
Matrix.
Yeah, it will literally kill
had to
them.
call tech
And then
support.
if
If you're
they
in the Matrix, you get unplugged, you're done.
yeah, and then if they die, just like the Matrix, if they die in the game, then they die. And they're in there for like 2 years.
Oh wow, that sounds pretty fucking cool.
I put
dude.
that much time into WoW.
Yeah, but they're in it for like 2 years straight, and like at the end
So
of
no
episode
matter what
14.
happens, like, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, at the end of episode 14, when those things conclude, and I'm not going to say how they conclude, but the main character gets out of his hospital bed and he's like all, because they moved him to a hospital bed, obviously, and he's all like emaciated and.
All I can say is hopefully they didn't do any guild raids, because all it takes is that one Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy
done.
Jenkins.
But like, think about how much more drama it adds to an MMO if PKing actually means something.
Yeah.
Right? So like,
There'd be
there's.
less ganking, I think.
Well, you-
Yeah,
What's kind of weird-
there's this group called the Laughing Coffin who are PKers even though they know what the stakes are.
Really?
What
Yeah.
captured my interest, though, was when you talked about that episode 14. If these individuals are locked in this virtual reality, where I'm sure they have powers and all that kind of stuff, and they're doing what they need to do in the virtual reality world, and then somehow, some way, when you come out on the other side and you're back in your body and you're emaciated, you know, that sounds kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Because you haven't moved in 2
Because you
years.
haven't, yeah.
Right. You know,
all
you're
they've been doing
all-powerful.
is
Now-
pumping
now
you
your
full of
conscious-
nutrients.
Your consciousness has returned to your body, and you're like, oh, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, oh, how fucked up would that be? You know?
But like-
Murph's back.
But like, he crawls out of bed to try to find the love of his life. It's just good. Like, it's so good.
I will watch the first 2 episodes for you.
It's
I'll
really
give it a
good.
shot.
It's on Hulu and Netflix, by the way.
All right.
So, if you had the opportunity to do this virtual reality
We'll wrap up
game,
here in just a sec for a break.
Right.
if you had the opportunity to do this virtual reality game that you may never come out of, but it's going to be the most amazing experience of your life, you could end up, bare minimum, you end up can't move except for a few months of, after a few months of physical therapy,
Recoup.
you might be able to get out of bed again. Would you ever consider trying it?
Nope.
That's like asking a retired NFL player, hey, you have this concussion syndrome, your knees are shot like a motherfucker. Would you go back and never play football and win your Super Bowl?
Hell no.
You know what
But
I mean? That's kind of like
I would
it's kind
be
of the
there.
same
Not
question.
really,
you know?
because this is just kind
well,
of
no, you're
cool,
living
but
in
you're
this
not
you're
gonna
living
end
in
up
this
being
body
famous.
where you're accomplishing all this
But
cool shit.
The difference is that question is being asked after the fact.
Right.
If you told a college player, look, you can go in the NFL, you're going to make millions of dollars, but you're probably going to be a barely functioning adult when you retire. Do you still want to sign this contract?
Depends on the person. Think about really quick. No, sorry. Think about Mick Foley. Mick Foley knew when all he ever wanted to do was be a professional wrestler. All he ever wanted to do.
The only reason
And
he made
knew,
it was
he knew,
because
like, I'm never going to be a
bump.
bodybuilder. I'm never going to be a bodybuilder. I'm not going to have Hogan looks, Michaels look. I'm not going to be able to do what these guys do. It's got to be something I can do to separate myself to get to where I need to be.
And that's
Pain. Take fucking ass whoopings all the
Yeah.
time. I
Bottom
gotta
line,
sell
if
shit.
VR ever taps into my central nervous system, not fucking doing
Well,
it.
see, even that though is different though, because like you're talking like if you ask Dan Moreno if he's going to go play football again, but end up screwed up, I mean, even people that don't follow football know his name.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of a really cool experience. You're not going to become
It's kind of the same.
internationally famous forever.
I would say
It's kind of the
if
same
I didn't
thing.
have a family, I would
you
probably
get to
say
live
yes.
like the apex moments of your life, though. This is, all of us want those kind of moments, and you get to be in that virtual reality world to do things you've never done before, things you could never do. Is it worth the end all, be all of
In the same breath, though, like the guy that saves it all, the main character, he is known in the whole world after it's done. Like everybody knows.
So he is Dan Marino of.
Everybody knows his virtual name. They don't know his real name. Most people don't know his real name, but they know his character.
To a certain extent, wouldn't it be the same as skydiving, or to a more extreme extent, jumping over the MGM on a motorcycle, or trying to jump over the Grand Canyon, or anything that the thrill seekers of the world do
I'd say
every
closer
day?
to skydiving than the others, because jumping over the Grand Canyon is going to make you, for the most part, world famous. Maybe not
Right.
to everybody, but you are going to be
tightrope walkers.
Yeah.
You are going to be known forever.
But
to
if
somebody,
somebody
at
that
least
jumps
in
out
that
of a plane
circle.
with a
Evil
chute,
Knievel,
you're never
brother.
going to know their name.
What was that?
They still might die.
Evil Knievel, brother.
Right.
Yeah.
But see, we never remember the accomplishments. When we look back at Evil Knievel, do we ever say, "Oh man, remember when he made it"?
No.
Remember when he
You remember
tumbled
when he fucked up?
2,000 times?
It was like watching NASCAR in the 80s,
He's
right?
breaking more bones than any other
Yeah.
human ever.
Right, yeah. Other than that, I haven't done much. I played some old games. I played Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
I've been
'Cause
watching you.
I
I've
got
been
it.
seeing that.
Yeah, I got it on PS Plus for free like a year ago.
You cleaned out the garage. Why?
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
After the break, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll talk about it briefly. But I've been playing Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I really dig it. Now I want to play the new Tomb Raider because it's actually really good. And
Never
then
been a fan.
on the Steam sale, I bought Final Fantasy 13 and Elite Dangerous. So I've been playing Final Fantasy 13 in the mornings on my Shield, like laying in bed before I have to get on the road, like just playing Final Fantasy 13. I like that game. It's not super deep, but I kind of like it. Although Hope is annoying as fuck. Easily the most annoying video game character I can ever think of. Hope and Vanille. Vanille drives me crazy too. Although she drives me crazy, like intellectually, and then sexually she drives me crazy in a completely wrong way.
It's like Fran Drescher.
Because she's like
Wow,
16
she looks really
years
good.
old.
Now I'm going to talk.
don't talk.
That's exactly it. She's goddamn. She's like woo, but definitely Vanille. Something else. And then Elite Dangerous. Man, that game is heavy. That's all I got to say about that game. It is very.
How much does it weigh?
2,000 pounds at
Dude.
least.
1,000 ounces?
1,000 ounces.
I don't have the time to like sink into it to learn all of its systems right now. I love that free flight space like battle game or stuff like that. But
I like how you put it out. No Man's Sky is No Man's Sky.
yeah, it's so. Man, it's so deep and dangerous.
Is on like an elite level almost.
Yeah, like if you're traveling between systems, like people who want to like kill you and take you down can rip you out of light space or
Holy
whatever.
cow.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And like it's got all of these game mechanics and systems that are just they're almost intangible. They're so difficult to grasp for me with the amount of time I had. I'm sure if I sat down for like a week and played that game, I would be super fucking deep into it and I'd have like a spreadsheet set up. But yeah.
All the keyboard hotkeys and whatnot.
Yeah, so other than that, just real quick, John was talking about how I cleaned out my garage. I cleaned out my garage because I got like a birthday/graduation present from my wife. I finally bought a motorcycle. 2014, believe it or not, brand new Yamaha Raider S, 1900cc motor, big chopper looking cruiser, and I love it. It's great.
It's beautiful.
It's awesome. A lot of fun to ride.
Cassandra's dad, his bike has the same color scheme.
Yeah.
His is a big old chopper Harley, though. But
Yeah.
It's kind of like the blue and everything going on.
I wanted something reliable.
Yes.
I love Harleys. My dad had a chopper. It was an APC. It had a
It's funny.
RevTech motor.
He wants
and-
reliable, so he bought non-American.
you know,
It is what it is. It is
for
what it
cars,
is.
I always buy American, but motorcycles, I'm sort of back and forth on.
Right.
I love Harleys. I'd love to own a Harley or a Victory, but at the same time, so they compare this particular bike to the Breakout, the Harley Breakout. The Breakout is $8,000 more expensive, like base price, and I got like $5,000, $6,000 off of this bike. So more than double the price for a Harley Breakout, and they're not offering you discounts. They don't give a shit. So, but anyway, so that's what we've been playing and watching. I think it is time for a break. We've been going for a little over an hour now, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be back at you. And we're back and a little more full of liquor and everything else. Real quick, John had a thanks that he wanted to send out, which is actually from all of us here at Aimless Adventure.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. Hector Sinceros, thank you for hooking up our YouTube channel banner. We've been needing that, and you did an awesome job. Thank you much.
Yep, it's dope. Got all the old classic consoles on there. Let's see, I remember the Dreamcast and the Super Nintendo.
I think Ghetto Nintendo and 64 were the Nintendo representatives. There was an Atari. There was a PS4.
Oh, yeah, the PS4 all the way on the left there.
What's funny about that is Jordan, he's somewhat of a gamer channel savant, I guess, because he follows PewDiePie or whatever.
PewDiePie!
I don't need to hear it again.
PewDiePie!
But, I was flicking through it on the PS4. What's fucked up is that I just got my hearing back last night, literally.
Now I can hear you crystal clear.
I wish it would have come back now. But Jordan saw the border that we got. He's like, "Oh, Dad, look, you guys are like actually a real YouTube channel now." Thanks, I guess. Thank you, kid.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not just the fact that he did it, because I kind of pitched him the idea of the old consoles, old school TV, but instead of controllers, it might,
I got a
all
question.
that.
Did you ever say to him at any point, "Yo, MTV raps"?
No, but yeah, it does have that kind of vibe.
It's got that vibe, right? It looks like.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
No, there's
That's
nothing.
cool.
Nothing wrong. But it looks like Yo MTV raps.
That's
just
cool.
saying.
But I had given him incorrect sizing for the YouTube banner,
Uh huh.
and I gave him what is definitely going to appear in the picture if you make a banner for it. So he sent it to me. I uploaded it, and you could see the top of the TV. I'm like, "Can we adjust this, brother?" And I spent probably an hour and a half on instant message with him, adjusting and doing different things until we finally got it to where it would show up on the banner for the PC. Because if you watch on TV, it would show the full thing. But mobile and PC, it would just show the wall, basically.
Weird.
I'm like, yeah, I think most people, mobile devices is where it's at. And PC, there are some people that watch on TV, I believe
Smart
the
TVs and
Conrads
shit.
watch on TV.
Yeah, they do.
But I think most
see
people
my
are going to watch on the others. And I wanted to represent the picture he actually drew, not just part of a wall he drew, And so he was completely patient and redid everything until I got it to where I liked it. And
Very
was
cool.
awesome.
Yeah, it looks awesome. I like
and he didn't charge us at all. It was given to us, but I still contributed to his artist fund because he's a good
that's
guy
awesome.
and he hooked us up.
it. Yeah, and he gave us that Wookiee. Well, we might have bought that one.
I can't remember.
The Wookiee crisp up there. I think we bought that one. But
By the way,
it's
Hector,
awesome.
thank you, brother. We greatly appreciate it. Hector
Definitely.
Cisneros, check his stuff out. Thank you, Hector.
Yeah, I was messaging with another Arizona podcast, Nerd with Balls. Who's a pretty good podcast.
They're not as sexy as us, though.
No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, they don't do video. So they upload their audio. Yeah, they upload the audio of their podcast onto YouTube, but they don't have any video of them actually talking. So it's just their logo or whatever. But
Oh, man.
and they're very focused. They talk specifically about comic book shows and stuff like that. So we're a little
More
broader.
aimless.
Hence the name Aimless Adventure.
Yeah, but I can't remember where I was going with that. Too much to drink. All right. I've had 3
I've
already.
had 1,000 ounces. Or
1,000 ounces.
1,000
Gotta make the
ounces.
game fun tonight.
You can put a diaper on the bottom of that thing.
Ish my baby.
Baby.
That's
Ooh,
funny.
what did you give me for that baby?
But anyway, this is the segment of our show where we get into our aimless discussion topics. Here recently, PSN went down, but also recently, Terry acquired a PSN account, so he's actually sort of been on PSN.
Well, I remember when it went down, I posted in our message group, hey, anybody else having problems with the PlayStation Network? Because I thought the weather's been kind of funky or what have you, and I thought maybe, because where I live, John, my cell phone reception
it's
is
horrible.
shit.
Our listeners know that because you've called in a couple times.
Yeah, and it's all bad.
It's been bad.
It's all bad. But I thought, well, maybe it's just my Wi-Fi, maybe it's where I'm at, and I messaged the group, and Josh, you came back through, like, no, it's been down all day, no reason given, no ETA, and I was just kind of like, that's kind of fucked up. Should I have kept the Xbox, or what the fuck's going on here? You know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of, I was playing WWE 2K16, and I was just kind of sticking to the in-game story mode, and like, okay, well, maybe it'll boot up, and went for a while. Like, Battlefront's useless to me without my Wi-Fi.
Well, it's useless to anybody without.
Right.
I mean, you can do the little missions, like I'm trying to beat your time on the little X-Wing mission or whatever. But at the same time, it's like...
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm going to beat you at time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a thing.
Because it shows.
You're better than you thought.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, I was third. Now I'm second. I'm only behind you.
Okay.
So another story for another time.
It's always good to be behind Josh.
Custodial work is fun. But no, man, because I wanted to play some Battlefront and can't really play it without the Wi-Fi. And I thought, okay, great. Do I need to get a hold of my Wi-Fi provider, or do I need to reboot the PlayStation, reset anything like that?
I think your Wi-Fi provider is your router.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't fucking know that kind of thing. I pay the bill, I expect it to work. That's what I know.
All right,
You know what
gotcha.
I mean? So everything.
Is your Wi-Fi router built into your modem?
Stop giving me fucking crazy questions, dude.
Do you have two separate boxes?
No,
or?
it's one box.
Okay, so your provider actually provides your Wi-Fi.
Exactly.
Okay,
And they
gotcha.
don't even charge me, like, some places you have to rent the deal. Like, my Wi-Fi bill is really cool, man. It's like $55 a month.
I rent home.
Who the hell do you
just so I
get-
can update.
Cox Communications.
My Cox is like $80 or
Dude,
$70 a month,
Well,
and I
what
don't
else
have
do you
cable.
have? Just
Nothing.
Wi-Fi?
Just
Nah,
internet.
dude, that thing powers our phones.
I have the works,
powers,
and it's a lot more
powers
than that.
Jordan's 3DS, powers the PlayStation 3, powers the Nintendo Wii, powers the PlayStation 4, powers 2 Dish Network boxes.
Not count your phones.
Yeah, our phones, everything, dude. My bill's about $60 a month.
No,
55,
mine's
60
$70 a month. That's crazy.
Do you
All
use
right.
the same provider for everything that's Wi-Fi in the same house?
For Wi-Fi, yes. What the fuck are you messaging me for, man?
Your Wi-Fi provider?
Fuck, no, dude.
How does Wi-Fi work?
Through the air, bro.
It's molecules.
It's magic, man. It's just like
Glitter through
little
the air.
invisible goddamn internet angels coming through your fucking phone lines.
Yeah.
And they carry all the stuff you do.
Every
They put
time
it on
that bell
space
rings,
for
I
you,
get better
bro.
service.
through your cable line, but
So either way, but no, I was tripping though. What was fucking me up was like, I was like, when I messaged you guys, like, no, it's down. Go ahead, Murph. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
no, you're hearing echo.
The whole thing was like, so PSN, PlayStation Network wouldn't work. I tried to get on YouTube, wouldn't work. But WWE Network would work, and it's a streaming service. The same thing as like, Netflix or whatever. But it would work.
I
I
thought
was
you
watching-
watched everything on that already.
No.
Didn't a month or two ago you said you were gonna cut it off because you watched everything you wanted to watch?
It's back.
Oh, okay.
Total Divas, bro.
I guess
It's a pretty good show. Well, there's another good show too. I didn't get to what I'm watching, but they got a new series. They're kind of taking a page from like Ultimate Fighter or some of the ESPN 60 for 60s or 30 for 30s, whatever they're called. They've got
30
a
for
show
30
called
is
Breaking
awesome.
Ground,
Okay.
where they're kind of focusing on the young up and coming talent at the Performance Center. It's a really good show.
Is it written as well as 30 for 30?
30
30 for
it's the
30
first season. It's a nice peek in the lives of the people that might be headlining WrestleMania in the next 10 years.
Well, so those services work because they're not based necessarily on PSN's network, right? There's no authentication
But see, here's
that's
the trick, though.
necessary to go through
Every
PSN.
time I would do a connection test, it would stop when it comes up and showing me to the PlayStation Network.
Yeah,
And I'm
because
like,
so those services like Hulu and stuff, they don't authenticate through PSN. They authenticate through the internet, and the internet was working, but PSN was down. So like,
yeah, like I told you, I said, man, I've been watching WWE Network on PS3 all day. I don't
Yeah.
understand why anything else is not.
but it
working.
doesn't authenticate through PSN.
Right. Okay. Cool. What else?
So it's separate.
Talking to a 38-year-old man who's wearing a Shawn Michaels fucking t-shirt. All right. I paid a lot of attention to technology.
All right, I got you. I'm with you.
So, anyways, but I'm learning. I'm learning from you guys. So
Right,
every
right.
time I come to the show, I always learn something new. But speaking of that, got to log on yesterday. Am I allowed to tell my hello story now?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm going to debut a bit. I want
No,
to debut
you gotta
today.
stop now.
John's fucking with you.
I
Keep
should
going.
have worn my shirt today, I guess.
PewDiePie.
Fuck you. That guy makes a lot of fucking money.
Oh my
Yeah, he
god!
does.
Yeah, he's fucking ridiculous. He's really down to earth though. Watch
Oh no, he seems like
watch his YouTube videos where he's like talking about like controversy and shit that's going on. He's just like super like just a real.
The only
dude.
thing that gets me is it's my fault as a parent. Like, you know, he goes off on a tangent and cusses a little bit and this and that. Jordan, you can't watch that guy cussing on a video game podcast. You're gonna watch mine, aren't you?
We're labeled as explicit. So.
Yeah.
Right. So either way, got online yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I was back online with WWE 2K16 because I've been on Battlefront. I've already extolled the virtues of why I like Battlefront. Haven't talked too much about WWE 2K16, which for some people that know me, like you guys, like, wow, you're playing Star Wars game more than you're playing the WWE game? Like, yeah, you know. But I'm finally trying to get to work on it, work on my character, and trying to get better online. And like I shared with you guys earlier, I'm ashamed to say this, I'm like 3-15 online.
I still can't wait until you create that stable.
I'm working on it. Like, that's a whole other story because the creative wrestler mode is frustrating because create a superstar. Excuse me, Vince. I'm sorry, they're not wrestlers. They're superstars.
And it's not a strap; it's a championship.
It's a championship title, not a belt.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It's not jewelry.
but you have back in the day, like on N64, No Mercy. The other games, you created a wardrobe. That's what they came out in, you know, to wrestle in. And you could add for entrance attire. But now it's like really weird because you create this really neat outfit for the guy that's in my career mode. But he's gonna wrestle in that, but yet he's gonna come out in nothing but black tights.
What
so
the
I'm
heck?
trying to copy that outfit from the actual in-ring attire
To your entrance.
to entrance attire and add something to it, and it won't let me. I don't get it.
Yeah, it used
Anyways,
to be easy
either
to have your entrance attire with sunglasses and a hat and
you
everything.
should have my in-ring attire should be my base, and then let me add for entrance. But
Right.
it's really weird. It won't let you copy and paste or something like that. That, or I'm just that fucking stupid.
Look at him
I-
using
I would
computer
take-
lingo.
I would take the latter.
I was like, do you even copy paste, bro?
So I'm online the other day, and I'm trying to run through the whole roster that I have
Control-C,
unlocked so far. And I pick Adam Rose. For our Aimless maniacs out there that are wrestling fans, they'll know the character of Adam Rose. He's based off the comedian Russell Brand. It's supposed to be an exotic, very,
Very British.
come out here, it's time to party, baby. Kind of like an Austin Powers, Russell Brand. You know, he goes, don't be a lemon, be a rosebud. Don't take life too seriously. All right, Adam Rose. You know, big character in developmental NXT. But like some of the other NXT characters that have come up to the main roster, it's flopped on the main roster, on Monday Night Raw, Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say, we talked about this a little bit earlier. When you referenced him and his character model, I couldn't help but think Leaping Lenny Poffo. That kind of soft, kind of semi. I'm just a poetic guy.
I'm
and
just ambiguous. Figure it out.
I'm not a super amazing guy, but I'm great. You know, just I don't know, just
Well, the whole thing about the Adam Rose character is there's a little bit of ambiguity to it.
So
you know?
you're Adam Rose. You choose Adam Rose.
I
and
choose Adam
you get
Rose.
online.
So you get in line. When you get in your lobby, you have to wait for your match to be made. You don't know who you're going to get. You don't know what player you're going to get. You don't know which WWE superstar they're going to use. I got it right, superstar, not wrestler.
and it's a
And so
lobby
you
just
sit
like
there,
any
you're
online
doing
game.
your practice thing or whatever, and it pops up. Adam Rose. Forgive me if I'm wrong or whatever, because I didn't remember exactly what the ratings were. Each wrestler, like, you know, you have Brock Lesnar, John Cena, you know, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns. These guys are going to be like the high 90s. Undertaker, probably, you know, 99 or something like that. Adam Rose on the show, as in the game, is kind of like a mid-card, C-card guy.
Just above a jobber.
He's about an 83. So I just want to try him out, see what I got going on here, and then
You're losing anyway, so what
right,
the fuck?
yeah. So the person I'm playing,
At least if I pick a loser, I've got an excuse.
right?
Exactly.
So
Something to play with.
exactly. So I'm like, you know, why are you fucking 3-15? I'm trying all the weak guys out. I'm upping my game. I'm going to beat everybody else with the weak guys.
Starting at the bottom.
Earning it.
Now check
Start
it out.
off start off
Working
with an
your way
Atari.
up.
Exactly.
All right.
So the character that I'm gonna, or the gamer that I'm gonna play, and their character comes up, and I'm getting Brock Lesnar. So I'm like, okay, here we go. This is gonna be a fucking quick match.
Champion, fucking probably
Champion
90th
Brock
percentile.
Lesnar, bad motherfucker.
Actually, was UFC champion at one point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Here's my little. Don't be a rosebud. And here comes Brock Lesnar. I'm gonna fuck you up.
I'm gonna fuck you up, fairy.
So we start playing. So I've got my headset on that Cassandra got me for Christmas. Very nice, thank you, babe. And I leave it on in case some people that I've played against, we talk wrestling, cool, making friends and stuff like that. You know, they're kicking my fucking ass left and right. But,
Making friends, influencing people.
Making friends, you know, why not be friends with the guy who kicked his ass? Why not?
Yeah.
It's easy. And the gamer tag is like Adele 1216 or something like that. And I'm thinking that didn't hit me. I'm looking at like Adelaide? Adelaide? Okay, whatever.
FN 2187.
FN. Wait, no. TR T8TR TR8TR Traitor.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Bad fucking stormtrooper with the cool fucking thing. Anyway, so I'm sitting there listening. So you can see the little icon above your gamer tag. You know, your microphone's live. Well, Adele, who I thought comes alive.
Shaved ham.
Hello. And now I hear all this background noise.
I must have called 1,000 times.
Yes, it is. It's this little fucking English fucking limey 8-year-old.
Which appreciate the irony of what character are you playing?
Adam Rose.
You're playing the Brit and he's playing the American.
Englishman.
That's kind of
He's the
fun.
American fucking kick-ass machine.
Because he figures he's going to win because he's 9 years old.
Right. Yeah, I thought he was going to win for a minute too. And I hear him, hello. So I thought he was saying hi to me. It doesn't hit me yet what the gamer tag is yet. Hello, how are you? And you know, I don't chat with kids. I'm like, flick my microphone up, like let's just do the match. You know, all I hear in the background is Adele's song. Hello, hello from the other side. That's all I hear in the background through the whole goddamn.
You know Adele,
match.
brother.
And there's the kid that I'm playing.
You can do some Bon Jovi, no more Adele.
I love Bon Jovi. Fuck you, don't bag on Bon Jovi.
No, I said you can do great Bon Jovi. Just don't do Adele.
Okay, well, he's a dude.
Which is funny
That's the shit.
because it wasn't actually they were listening to the radio or anything, right?
No,
it was,
the Adele's.
it was
off
the
in
two
fucking
brothers or
background
whatever.
shit, and you know they said, "Oh no, no.
Little fruitcake brothers going
You
back
can
and
just
forth.
tell like their fucking tongue is ripping off their crooked British teeth and trying to talk to each other and shit, right? So I'm getting my fucking ass kicked.
We love Brits.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We love you in Britain.
We're seriously. No,
We
we're.
love you. I
England
picked
and-
one of your people, Adam Rose. Don't get mad at me. You fucking love me at the end of the story, I promise. I made you look good. So fucking get my ass kicked by this 8-year-old fucking British kid, man. Seriously.
Singing
split
Adele
hands,
songs.
You know?
Yeah.
Fucking him and his brother, hello from the other side, you know? And I'm just getting my ass kicked, and they're sitting there. Fucking he finally, he gets his signature move worked up. Brock Lesnar gives me like 4 German suplexes in a row.
Not Chris Benoit style, is it?
No. And he hits his finisher. Here comes the F5. Boom. I'm like, this is it. Fuck. I lost to a goddamn 9-year-old. You know what I'm saying? In England, nonetheless. You know?
Right.
They don't even get to see the shit live. They're watching a fucking tape delay or whatever the fuck, you know?
Well, they go to England once a year, don't they?
Once a fucking year. I've been to WrestleMania, man. I'm getting my ass kicked by a kid who's never seen this shit live. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, here we go. And like the way the kick out meter works is like you have to time it perfectly. And there's a lag. And
Now, kick out is getting out from a hold, right?
kicking out from a pin attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So the
right, right.
one,
And
That's what I
two,
meant.
he kicks
used,
out.
It used to be button mashing.
Okay.
Now it's
Just for people who don't know what kick out is.
Now it's kind of like when you, in some of the older Madden games, when you kick the ball, you hit X, and the meter comes up and down. You hit X at the right time to
You
kick
want
the ball
that
further.
full
what
max
have you.
and then in the sweet spot?
So there's a little bit of a fucking thumbnail, like Adam Rose is done. Adam Rose is done. It's over, Johnny. And somehow I kick out. Hey, fuck you. Fuck you, you motherfucker, Adam Rose. Fucking Hoovermania, you're a son of a bitch. You're a son of a bitch. And I can't get my voice up that high to mimic a 9-year-old boy from England. It's like if Harry Potter,
Right? He's yelling at you.
you know what I'm saying, pissed off about my fucking wand doesn't work, you fucking
you
wanker,
Slytherin son of a bitch!
You bloody son of a bitch.
But an octave higher.
So
It's like that Food Glorious food commercial. Why do they have to yell in a song?
So now, I'm like, this little motherfucker. It's bad enough you're 9 years old. You're from fucking England. You're kicking my goddamn ass at the game I'm supposed to be the fucking best at.
Right?
I was like, Adam Rose, motherfucker, don't be a lemon. Let's be a rosebud.
Let's
Let's
be a
go kick some
rosebud.
ass. This kid's mad. It's fucking his game up. It's just running
got in
at
his
me.
head, dude.
All of a
You got in
sudden,
his
I'm
head.
fucking reversing everything. Now, I get Adam Rose to where I get to hit my signature.
Who went Neo in WWE 2K16?
I get my signature. Bang, hit it. Oh, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Oh, you hear in the background, he's gonna beat you. He's gonna beat you. You shut up. You shut up. Hey, what happened to fucking enunciating the T at the end of shut? You shut up. You shut up.
That's an American thing.
Yeah.
So I hit Adam Rose's move, the party foul. Boom. I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay, here's my chance. This kid's, like, his green meter to kick out is like that big. He's so fucking mad. He's
And
not
keep-
concentrating.
Got in his head, man. You played the game.
One,
Played the game.
two, and at the end the referee takes a. My motherfucker count three. I was like, yeah. Oh, you motherfucker. Fuck Hoovermania. Fuck Hoovermania. You son of a bitch. You piece of shit.
Oh, I wish you'd recorded that.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
This kid went off. I was like, where the fuck are your parents, Harry Potter, you little piece of shit? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker going off on
Do you know
me.
what I love about this story? It's not only the fact that you like pissed off a 9-year-old who just lost his mind.
I can't believe I barely beat a fucking 9-year-old.
But you fucking love wrestling, right? And like when we were outside talking about it, you're like, oh, I just like to chat with the guys and talk to them about wrestling. It's like, shouldn't you be trash talking the fuck out of them right now?
Look, brother.
Like the whole time, shouldn't you be doing like your Hulkamania voice? You're like, look, brother, I'm gonna lay the smackdown on you.
You would think that, like, actually the game.
He's all, hi, I'm Terry.
I,
You know, shit.
I love wrestling.
It's like
You guys want to do
get on
some
there,
wrestling
like,
today?
actually, it's kind of fucked up. It's like, you get on there like I've been using Chris Jericho because he's kind of well-rounded. He can do the aerial shit and the ground game and
Right.
all that. The other guy I was playing against was using Seth Rollins. Kind of the same thing as far as their characteristics. You can do a little bit of everything. And the guy gets said, hey man, so you're Chris Jericho, huh? I was like, yeah, dude. What's up? So you think come back for WrestleMania, and then we're sitting there beating the fuck out of each other on the goddamn game, just talking about what we think's going to happen at WrestleMania.
Nice.
Dude, we need to get you on WWE 2K16 online, like Twitch, like streaming on Twitch,
Yeah, Twitch,
and
sure.
fucking talking shit like a wrestler to people. Like,
Yeah.
just
Well,
that would be
just
fun
as
to
an
see.
act. I understand that you like want to be cool, but
Yeah.
people would fucking
Well, you
lose their
know,
minds.
One of the characters you get right off the bat is like fucking Apex Macho Man.
Yeah,
Nice.
With the orange tights, the fucking bandana,
Awesome.
the fucking big ass Oakleys and shit.
dude, you.
And I would love to do that. Like, ooh, you didn't know you were actually playing the Macho Man, did you?
I'm playing
All the way
from
from heaven just to play your punk ass.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
I would watch it.
That's a new Twitch.
Yeah.
That's a new Twitch series right there.
Let's
Like,
do it. Let's
Let's
do it.
do
for
it.
real.
Let's
That is
do it.
that
Let's
is
set up
dope.
a
Next
date.
podcast, I'll bring the game. Let's hook it up.
Yeah, let's do that. Just, ooh yeah.
You like that side headlock, you motherfucker?
Yeah. I never used this move in real life.
Dude, that would be the. That's actually like a great idea.
And you know
That's
what,
the best shit ever.
motherfuckers,
I
they
think it would be
did.
cool
They
as hell.
did kick Hogan off the game. They took Hogan completely out of the fucking game. And now-
Wankers.
Yo, you motherfuckers! 2K Sports taking Hulk Hogan, you motherfuckers!
Wankers.
I'm sure that was a Vince decision.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably.
And what's funny though, he tweeted right a couple weeks after, "I'm still in the game," and like WWE came in and said, "No, you're not in the game anymore." But Triple H,
Sports.
but a little
It's in the game.
update on that. Triple H has opened the window for Hogan to eventually come back. That's a whole nother topic for another time. But okay, what I'm watching. The only big news I have is WWE WrestleMania is going to happen at Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, Texas. As for a football stadium alone,
So what you're saying is everybody that participates is going to lose.
well, what I'm saying, what's funky is it's
There
interesting.
will be no winners.
It's interesting to me as a fan to see how the booking will go. But John Cena recently tore his rotator cuff. He's out for at least 6 months. And the behind the scenes working, the rumor was the main event, because they want to break the record they set at WrestleMania 3. They want to break the world indoor attendance record, and
Texas
they can do it
Stadium.
with over 100,000 people at Cowboy
place
Stadium
to
in
do it.
Texas. That's the place to do it.
Either that or in Japan is pretty much your
And
only
the main
options.
event supposedly was planned to be John Cena versus The Undertaker. They've never faced each other. And that was supposed to be the Undertaker's swan song, because Undertaker's from Texas. Come to Texas, see The Undertaker one more time. Cena's out.
against John Cena.
Against John Cena, two biggest names or whatever that are, arguably the two biggest names. So now they're kind of strapped because John Cena's out, Randy Orton's out, Seth Rollins is out, Daniel Bryan's out.
See, I think
Cesaro's out.
I think if it was healthy, I think Randy Orton would have been a good substitute, since he has the moniker of the Legend Killer.
But the streak's been broken. And
Yeah,
and
but
plus
still,
they face each other at WrestleMania 21.
Regardless of WrestleMania wins or losses, you can't just dispute that.
Well, I'm just
Taker
curious
is a
now.
legend.
And then now, after a couple days before that, I'm wondering if John Cena gave WWE heads up, like, "Hey, I might need surgery," because a couple days before that was announced, The Rock hit Twitter, The Rock hit Instagram. I got a big surprise at WrestleMania.
Interesting.
When he was supposed to be shooting a movie, but now all of a sudden The Rock is already announced he will be at WrestleMania.
Oh, wow.
What capacity?
Dang,
We'll see.
something.
So maybe Vince made the phone call like, "Hey, I need your help. We're trying to break this
Step
record.
in.
My guys are out. I need you to show up."
But
So-
think about it: the WWE and WWF in our heyday are all about pushing storyline, pushing characters. Who's going to be the next star? Who's going to be the next Stone Cold? Who's going to be next Hogan? Whatever. If you have the Legend Killer beat Taker at WrestleMania, I don't care if it's his first loss or not, and he retires.
They've wrestled before, though. They
I
wrestled
know.
at WrestleMania 21. Then when the Legend Killer, he's not really the Legend Killer anymore. Now he's the Apex Predator.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, what do you do now, though? If you think about it, you're looking at your roster. You got this kid you're trying to push, Roman Reigns. He's a champion right now. Brock Lesnar's coming back to Raw tomorrow. So if you think about it, with all the guys I just listed, now you're looking at Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, some ways Chris Jericho. Jericho's back. But to sell a
didn't work
stadium, to fill a stadium over 100,000 people, what do you do as a booker? I don't have John Cena now. I don't have Randy Orton now. I don't have
that
Daniel
The Rock's
Bryan now.
going to show up.
So-
and you got your 100,000 tickets pretty easy.
So it sounds like it was kind of a rough year in wrestling, right? And I think,
Just the last couple months, anyway.
yeah, I think a lot of things that we're excited about kind of had rough years. So, like, what kinds of things that happened in 2015 were, like, did you find, like, disappointing or just, like, made you shake your head? Like, what kinds of things in 2015 happened?
Pixels. Straight the fuck up, Pixels.
You didn't like Pixels?
I don't know if we've
That's a
talked about
surprise
this
to me.
before.
Yeah, we talked about it. Murph, do you have anything that happened in 2015 that just made you shake your head?
Oh God! You know what? Go on to the others. Let me put my thoughts together on that for a second.
All right,
There was
John.
a lot I liked, but
Gotcha. John, you got anything?
Fantasy football.
Yeah, my team got fucked up too. No, man, because I fucking channeled goddamn Dallas Cowboys vibe when I was up for drafting. I took Romo first, and I got Des Bryant second.
Yeah, I had Romo too. yeah.
Oh, fuck. My season was shot, dude.
No, you can't say that because I had Romo too. He was my quarterback, and I pulled it out.
No.
Yeah, it was decent for a while.
Who was your backup?
Blake Bortles.
Yeah, who had a breakout fucking season for Jacksonville of all teams.
But the last, 4 weeks of the fantasy season, it seemed like it had no rhyme or reason to who was going to do good at all.
There was nothing, yeah. Well, but see, mine, I did better than normal. I came in 10th.
Holy cow.
Usually you're dead last.
I came in 10th out of 12 too.
I was like, yeah, 10th.
I made second, but I totally shouldn't have. Like,
But I'm thinking
Nobody
everybody.
in
I'm
the top
thinking
5 should have been up there,
yeah,
honestly.
seriously, like it was one of
I
those
was
things.
sixth.
like who was
He had the first. He still has the first place record.
when you guys did your draft. Who were the real quick?
I was number 2.
First 3 players to go in your draft. Who were they?
Oh, first 3 players?
Yeah.
Oh hell, I don't know.
AP was first.
Adrian
with
Peter. Our first one was Brady.
Who did me nothing.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely freaking nothing.
He was the rushing leader this year.
Yeah, only the kid from Tampa Bay was coming up behind him.
Yeah.
But still, they say it was the lowest rushing total for a rushing leader in the last 15 years or something like that.
Yeah, the rushing game in the NFL is like NFL teams that draft a running back in the first round get laughed at. So
Remember, you used to take a running back.
Yeah,
every fucking time.
that was how you built your team. But I can't remember 2 and 3.
Ours was Tom Brady, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning.
Well, we had the
We
thing.
have a keeper league, so all the big players were pretty much, except for Adrian Peterson, damn near was the only real superstar that was that stuck around. Most of them were already taken.
Yeah,
And
I
AP
kept
was
Eddie
available.
Lacy, which was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
I got rid of Peyton Manning. I should have just kept him around. But
I don't know. Peyton Manning wouldn't have done much better for you. He got benched.
yeah, but I mean,
injury or not.
Romo was injured in like the third
It was
week,
fucking
and
David Carr from the Raiders.
but
I
anyway,
got more production from him, dude. It
Cooper,
was crazy.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
So,
Badass. Next year, draft Cooper high.
yeah, at the end
Next
of
year, Raiders and AFC West champions.
At the end of the day, literally the top 3 teams who were smoking everybody in our league, they went out in the first round of the playoffs.
Literally.
Every fucking one of them. And like somehow I got to the Super Bowl, which was cool at the same time, but sucked it. And I'm not going to get too far into it.
Yeah, your opponent.
Yeah, well,
Got to play the championship game more than I can say I got to do.
yeah, we'll talk offline, but
Yeah.
I have thoughts about that. But anyway, it was just it was an interesting year in football, that's for sure.
I mean, yeah, I won the regular season, and I won a couple bucks for that, but once the playoffs started, it was just a crapshoot.
Yeah. Anything broader in the geek category that you can think of that made you shake your head? I was looking for stuff that like made like big news, big news.
Something that I'm sure you're going to touch on later, the Oculus Rift price point was kind of
Yeah, we're going to talk
disappointing.
about that.
But
But
I guess
that happened
technically
in
it was this
2016.
year. I'm sorry. I was planning on researching that, and I didn't.
Oh yeah. Okay. You got anything?
No.
No?
Football's where I was going to go. But
2015 disappointments was what we're on.
Yeah, disappointment. Stuff that just made you shake your head. I've got 2.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay.
Call her Kate.
All right.
You know,
not really geek related, but
no, kind of, just because there's so many memes about
Yeah,
it. You
all
know?
right. Woman of the Year was a man.
Hey,
But hey, we're progressing.
yeah.
it's cool. Hey, be who you want to be.
We're
Hey,
progressing
look,
so
I'm
far
saying
that
this out
Woman
here
of the
right
Year
now.
was a man.
All of our viewers out there, be who you want to be. Love who you want to love. Don't hurt nobody else while you're doing it.
For
That's
sure.
all that matters
Yeah,
in life.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
gotcha.
I'm not one of those people that like. If you're a good person, you love somebody, and you're a good person generally in the world, do what you want to do. But, and it's probably not Jenner's fault, but just the influx of that just non-stop.
And
Just like a fucking Kardashian. You know what I'm saying?
I am 100% behind the amazing bravery it took for him to do that.
Yes. From that extreme, this person.
Even in high school in front of 300 people or whatever, if I were gay or transgender or anything, I wouldn't be able to stand up in front of them and say, hey, look, this is me. And he grew up in Vietnam era athlete, Olympics.
Wasn't
and
he
stuff.
like the first person ever featured on a Wheaties spot?
Okay, so somebody related to the Kardashians got 120 seconds on my podcast. That's
but see,
that's
that's-
it. No, that's the end of it. Sorry.
But that's the
no
point.
more.
It was just
no
shoved
more.
in your fucking
no
face.
more.
It's like,
Sorry.
You lose the fucking.
No.
You
Stop.
You lose the fucking. You lose the magnitude of what it actually meant because it's Kardashian related.
The drama of the drama of all. I hate the Kardashians. I can't do it anymore. They got their 120 seconds on our podcast.
He was famous because he
Yeah,
was an
you
Olympic
asked me
athlete.
He was an Olympic
He wasn't
athlete.
famous because he fucked
Ask
Ray
me what I
J.
didn't
No,
like
no,
about
you're
2015.
you're absolutely correct. But
I guess I
he's
should
in the
say what I
popular
like
culture
about-
right now.
What
but-
I like about 2015 is the fucking Kardashian effect.
yeah, if he wasn't married to what's her name, then
And the thing
do you
with
know what I
Lamar
mean?
Odom should be taking it serious. Like the dude's in trouble. The guy needs help. The guy needs fucking, to bounce back from what happened to him. What's the focus on? His health, or who the fuck showed up? And you know who Lamar Odom is, right?
Yes.
You know who his wife is, right?
No.
Fucking Khloe Kardashian.
It's sad that you don't know who Lamar Odom is, but you know Khloe Kardashian.
No, I know who Lamar Odom is.
But
I
see,
don't
the
know.
whole thing
I didn't know that
wasn't
was
about Lamar Odom's health and how he was doing. It
was about if
converted
she showed
back
up or
to,
not.
Yeah.
Are they showing up? Are they there? Is Catelyn there? This and that.
Well, see, that's exactly-
Is the motherfucker alive? Tell me if he's alive.
That's exactly my problem with that family. Is that it's all about them and it's never about the people that are actually damaged, or
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like if to me, this would be a story if Bruce Jenner was just an old Olympic athlete, but the fact that he is associated with them, and like the news wasn't necessarily about him becoming transgender or whatever the hell they call it. It was about, well, how did his family react, and how did Kylie talk about it, and blah blah blah. And it's like, you know what? Fuck those people. Like, this is his journey.
And the other thing I didn't like in 2015 is Major League Baseball again is turning down Pete Rose for they're not taking him back. And a lot of that has to do with Pete Rose himself, because the motherfucker still gambles.
He screwed himself up.
But it's kind of like, you know what? Yet you guys let him commentate on baseball games. You let him do commentary for MLB games on television, for playoffs. Let him do commentary on radio, all that kind of shit. He's still allowed to show for signing conventions with other Major League players and all that. You let him do everything, but yet you won't allow him to be in Major League Baseball. But yet you're going to fucking eventually induct Barry Bonds or Mark McGwire or fucking Jose Canseco. Well, not Jose Canseco, but Sammy Sosa Hall of Fame. The PED era, these motherfuckers are going in. Let him back in. He's an old fucking man now.
Yeah.
He paid his fucking penance.
As a coach, obviously, he shouldn't be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, or a manager.
As a player.
But as a player, he should be. Right. No, I agree with that, for sure. Absolutely.
Murph, you got thoughts on that, brother?
You know what? Why? I'm not a big sports person. You guys know that, so I'm not up on it as you guys are, but as someone who's not as educated on it, I just have a basic question. I know what Pete Rose did. He's accused of gambling, but why
he did it. He admitted
it. Yeah. But why is he banned when I see all these other players with their behaviors? I can't name any names, but people going out in clubs, getting into fights, doing, committing felonies, and they might get fined or suspended for a few games. I'm sorry, they got to be consistent across the board. I don't think gambling is that bad. All of us can go into a casino and do it. But when you got players that are committing felonies, I got a problem. They are paid very well for what they do, and they should be held to higher standard.
The thing is, Pete Rose gambled on games he was actively involved in.
And I disagree 100%. If you're betting on your team to lose, and you're the manager game,
or you're
the
major player,
but he bet on himself to win, which every athlete in the world should do.
And you know what? You talk about people gambling athletes. There's a guy named Michael Jordan. No one gives a shit to. Michael Jordan's one of the biggest fucking gamblers on the face of the goddamn planet.
He's also an asshole.
You know what?
Dude will bet. The guy will bet $50,000 fucking dollars on a hole of golf.
What was that, Murph?
And once again, please correct me, but what's some of the shit that some of the Raiders players have done over the past 10 years? All right?
Or your Philadelphia Eagles.
Gambling is not a fucking
Some
felony.
Cowboys.
All right?
Yeah.
He should get his fucking hand slapped. Gambling is a fucking victimless. Well, you
They
can
used to
debate
have
if it's
goddamn
victimless
football
crime or
players
not,
on the
but he's not
sidelines
out
fucking
robbing
doing
liquor
coke
stores
straight
or
the
doing
fuck
shit
up.
like that.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. They should be consistent. It shouldn't matter your star level or anything else. Like,
There was a great editorial I heard on the radio the other day when they were talking about Mike Piazza getting in the Hall of Fame and Ken Griffey Jr. getting in the Hall of Fame this year.
The kid.
And they said, and they're both very well deserving. I love both those players. But the commentator, I think it was Colin Cowherd. It was Colin Cowherd that was talking about how Mike Piazza, there was out of X amount of writers that get to vote for the Hall of Fame, 25 of them didn't vote for Mike Piazza because Mike Piazza kind of got his name tossed in the PED thing towards the end of his career when it was kind of burgeoning for the other guys. And talking about, go back to the 1900s. Every era in baseball, every era in sports, they've used something.
Yeah,
There's always been something. Like back when Babe Ruth was playing, it was testosterone in whatever sense it was back then. Then you progressed towards like the 60s and 70s. Motherfuckers straight up doing coke before a game, doing coke during a game, baseball, football, whatever. They were all doing it. Then it elevated to steroids, and it's elevated to PEDs. Now it's elevated to HGH. Every athlete wants that edge. Every athlete wants that edge. You remember that one college movie they did? God damn it! What the hell was it called? Like a fictional Florida team. They had the one guy that always made his face look like a fucking
The program.
Oh
yeah.
Latimer.
Right. And even in college.
Oh man, that was.
It's bigger, better, faster.
When he got off the drug, and that dude hit him,
he
fell back into the end zone. I was like, oh, that sucks, because if he would have just been straight up from the beginning,
But there's
he would've
always
destroyed that
there's
kid.
always the edge. There's always the edge that athletes are looking for.
Who feels like athletes should be punished for using marijuana since it just hurts performance?
No.
Like,
They should
I think they
punished for
should
wasting,
because it's
wasting their
tech-
contract.
yeah,
it's
like
technically
they
illegal.
should be punished like in
but
their
it's
contract.
not a performance
But
enhancing drug,
Yeah.
except for the fact that you might say smoking a joint the night before a performance or
Okay, well,
whatever.
well,
See, if
Might
I
kill
put
your
my
nerve.
money on you and you come out high and don't perform, you owe me money.
yeah, that's right.
But what do they used to tell boxers? Don't have sex the night before a fight. So you're gonna find a boxer? Yeah, me and my lady, we had our quality time together. Well, you just got your ass knocked out in fucking, 5 rounds or whatever the hell. What'd you do last night? Check your semen count. You know what I'm saying? We start doing that or what?
Yeah.
So for me, the things that happened in 2015 that are really fucked up that make me shake my head are the whole Hideo Kojima Konami thing.
Yeah.
That is huge drama. The maker of some of the most iconic games of our time, Metal Gear Solid, stuff like that.
He was Konami.
Yeah, he was Konami. That's who you thought of when you thought of Konami, and like nobody's talking about it, and they're
But
keeping.
it kind of makes me chuckle when Konami's struggling now.
Yeah, they're.
What are they going to do?
Well, see, the thing is, Konami in Japan, they run gyms, they run those gambling pinball machine. What the hell do they call that?
That Plinko type thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they run those parlors and all that other stuff. So, like, Konami's got money, whatever. They've actually licensed Metal Gear to be in the pachinko machines and stuff like that. So, like, Konami is going to be fine. This is and they're big into mobile apps in Japan. So they've got like these slave shops where these people work on these mobile apps. Literally, like you should read some of this news. That's
Thank you,
coming out.
slave shops.
But like the whole weird thing is like they've got pictures of like Kojima's going away, and then like it's like goodbye Kojima, and like he's shaking everybody's hand that's at Konami and stuff, and like the New York Times or whatever airs it, and then Konami comes out with a public statement. He's just on vacation. We don't know where those pictures came from. Like,
Wow.
really? Like, come on. Like, everybody knows he's gone. You removed his name from the fucking game. Let's just move on, right? Like, but like the whole that was a PR disaster that I'm just like, whatever. Like, it's just one of those things. The other thing that makes me shake my head is not necessarily geek related, but car geek related. The whole mix up on Top Gear with Jeremy Clarkson punching that producer and then getting kicked off the show, and then Hammond and May following him, and like now they're starting their own like Amazon Prime show or some shit. So that
kind of goes back to the Hall of Fame thing. I mean, they're seriously. I mean, they're cutting off their own hand because he did something stupid. Since when do you not let famous people do stupid stuff?
He's famous for doing stupid shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if we were going to take movie stars away from the big screen every time they did something stupid, every time they assaulted somebody or did something like that, we wouldn't have anybody famous.
I think it's different when you assault your employer. If you assault the director or producer on a movie,
Or if you fucking
Brad
punk
Pitt or
out a
something
parts
might
manager.
not get another job.
So
To a certain
yes,
extent,
yeah.
but are you going to punish them to the point where your company's going to severely suffer because of it? I mean, technically, they're going to hurt worse than he is.
So here's the thing.
You could be a bitch and say, okay, you can punch us, but we're still going to keep you on TV. I mean, the
You-
line has to be drawn.
You've been living in a car for 24 hours a day for like 7 days straight. You finally get to the very last hotel stop in this fucking absolutely grueling journey. You're tired, you're cold, you're fucking hungry. You've been eating out of a can or an MRE for the last week. The one thing that is supposed to be at that hotel is a warm bed and a fucking meal. And the producer's like, oh yeah, we forgot to order the meal. I might be a little angry. I could see...
I don't know about punching my employer.
I can see that though,
angry.
man. Like, oh man, at least I'm gonna get a fuking sandwich or some fries.
At the same
mean,
time, he
oh,
punched...
here you go. Here's a couple quarters.
At the
There's
same
many
time, who doesn't love him for punching Piers Morgan?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that I'll side with you on that. But
I get punishing him,
aside
but
from
punishing him to the
defending
extent
yourself
that it
to a
hurts the
certain
company.
extent.
Well, and now they've hired that guy that's like such a famous anchor for like BBC shows.
But what kind of precedence would that set if they're like, just let him go?
Who's
Well, I'm
younger?
not saying don't punish him, but punish him financially.
Yeah.
Punish him, you know.
Oh, who was the goddamn anchor that lied? On NBC or something like that. Dude
Oh,
lied.
yeah, he's retired now. Though,
In-
so whatever.
No, not Dan Rather. There was recent. It was just recent where basically I'm sorry to anchor the show again, but the main thing was the guy said he was somewhere when he wasn't.
Yeah.
And then they took him off the air.
Yeah, it was the Iraq thing. He said he was on
and they
got
took him off
attacked.
the air for a little while.
Let's bring it down to real life. If I, for any reason other than my boss punching me, I punched my boss, regardless of how much money I bring to the company, and I think I do well at my job, if my boss kept me around, that would completely destroy him.
Only Stone Cold gets away with
I'm not saying he was right or wrong. Like that's not really my point.
It's just depends on how much you bring to the company.
I'm saying he should have gotten
I
should have gotten canned. They could have gotten somebody else. And
well, see, but that's my point, right? It's not what he did. It's that they did get somebody else who's an even bigger jackass than Jeremy Clarkson. Like,
has he punched his boss?
No, but he's like
assault
they've
is
literally
so much more
filmed
than
like the
anything
first. I'm not talking about what he did. I'm talking about
Latrell Sprewell.
I'm talking about the thing that makes. I'm talking about the thing that makes you shake your head, right? So it's like these people who are icons of television, like they were for years. They were the most pirated show in the world. And like he punches his boss, which no, assault is not a good thing. But my blood sugar drops, and I'm crazy too. So, whatever. But then they hire this guy that's like the famous BBC anchor who has got an ego that's 10 times the size of Jeremy Clarkson's, and they've hired and fired like 10 different co-hosts, and he's just like, I'm going to anchor the show by myself. And like, I don't think Top Gear is ever coming back at all because they just can't work with this guy. Like, I can't remember. What is his name?
I don't know. I don't remember what his name was. It's nobody I'd ever heard of before.
He was on Star at a Reasonably Priced Car on the show.
Yeah.
I just can't think of his name, but he is just like, he's out of his mind. So like, that makes me shake my head too. I can't wait to see what those guys are going to do. Especially they're going to like be working for an American company, which they insult all the time, but whatever, it's all good. But those are the things that make me shake my head this year.
It's screwed up. Either way, the show's pretty well over. It's definitely never going to be what it was before.
Yeah, for
what
sure.
They call jumping the shark.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. So he screwed up that whole thing. I mean, they had a good thing going, and I think they were getting kind of tired of it. They're fucking old men. I mean, goddamn. Like, going back and watching some of the early seasons and stuff, they're like all young and spry, and now Jeremy's just...
And the Amazon show is going to be a bad copy. They're going to try to get away with as much as they can that's similar so that they can get that viewer, but they're not going to be able to do it anywhere near what they were doing, or they're just going to get the shit suit out of them. So
yeah, like the Top Gear reboot, because Top Gear has been a show that's been around for like 20 years, but Jeremy Clarkson rebooted it in like 2000, 2001,
give or take.
The show was failing, so Jeremy sold this idea to the producers that just fucking hit the world by storm. It was huge. It was on the level worldwide with CSI Miami. I know that sounds crazy to us, but CSI Miami worldwide was the biggest show ever. So it hit this popularity that was super huge, and I honestly think they just got tired of doing it. And so I think Jeremy is a creative guy, and we'll see what he comes up with. I don't know if he'll try to copy it, but it'll definitely be 3 irreverent, limey motherfuckers getting out there doing their thing.
Hey, you motherfucker!
Exactly.
You fucking son of a bitch! You little limey bastard, why are you talking shit to me?
How much do you think it's going to hurt the spin-offs? Because, like, obviously the American one is nowhere near as good as that one, but they also have Korea and Australia. How much do you think it's going to hurt all of those other ones if this one fails?
I don't think it'll hurt them too bad because it's not like that one funds the other ones. The other ones exist because that one existed, so they'll keep it until they start losing money, and then they'll get rid of it.
Like the CSIs.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we probably need to get into our Town Crier and wrap this thing up. I probably won't go through all the news items. We talked about Hideo Kojima. He's actually getting awarded like Game Developer Lifetime Achievement Award at DICE Awards, and because it's for him as a game developer and not for his properties that Konami owns, they can't block him from attending this one. So,
nice.
Fuck him. We've talked about Mike Kennedy a lot. They had that retro video game system, Retro VGS. He runs Retro Magazine. They have rebranded because their Kickstarter or Indiegogo campaign was such a failure.
I want to talk on that real quick.
Sure.
It kind of sucks because one of the reasons why, Mike was really cool.
He's a good guy.
But I was 100% behind his guy because the way he was explaining everything to us and everything was, he was talking to a fan about stuff that a fan would like.
For real.
And he knew his shit. He looked like he was going to do a really good job. I guess he's one of the reasons why the price point went so high and why it failed and everything and stuff, so they booted him. So I'm kind of torn on it because that was one of my tie-ins was they have the right guy doing it.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But he's gone, so...
Yeah, I don't know what will happen from him. Apparently, they fell so low that Coleco bought them. I didn't even know Coleco existed anymore. So
Holy fuck, Coleco and Radio
yeah,
Shack?
it's going to be called the Coleco Chameleon now. It's not.
The report I read...
What was that, Murph?
I just said, wow.
Yeah.
The report I read made it sound like it wasn't anything to do with the original company. It was like that name might be public domain now, and they were grasping at straws for using that name, is the report I read.
Is it? I don't know. I thought that Coleco was actually involved, like the trademark or whatever, but...
No, I went down there.
It's the Coleco
down there
Chameleon.
On, Main Street in Coolidge, behind in the bread shop. They got the little corner office. Coleco. It's got the name taped above the fucking closet. So you get your fucking Spanish bread. You go on the Coleco and there's like this dude in there taking notes. Like, I'm waiting on a fucking phone call, bro.
Nice.
We talked about it on a...
Coleco was bought out by Texas Instruments.
Huh?
So what?
I thought Coleco was bought out by Texas Instruments.
I think you're right. And actually that makes sense because Texas Instruments was developing the chip that was going to be used in Retro VGS. So that could be that could be a connection. We'll have to look into that. We talked about it on the last podcast, but that douchebag that bought the
Wu-Tang Clan album that has complete 100% rights to it.
Yeah, he just got arrested for like...
Oh, yeah.
Which means if the federal government seizes his assets, the federal government will be 100% ownership of this Wu-Tang album that they could sell and make money off of, but they can't make a profit off of anything. So this album may just...
Well,
be
technically they
government
can make
hands
a
dead.
profit. They just can't outright sell it. They have to sell it at auction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they can make as giant of a profit as they want.
They just
It
have to re-auction it
They
like
can't.
Wu-Tang
They
Clan
just can't
did.
set the price. It could end up going off for $1.
Yeah, and I think what did he pay for that? Like $2.5 million or something like that. So like that's a huge chunk of like the $7 million that he supposedly screwed somebody out
That
of.
was definitely a head shaker for 2015. That dude decided to up that pill.
Oh,
That
yeah.
pill for AIDS victims or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, for sure. There were a couple of new trailers that came out. You just watched the
The
Civil War trailer. We talked about it on our last podcast, but what did you think?
Captain
I
America.
thought it looked awesome.
I do too. I'm with you.
I'm honestly watching it. I'm surprised it's branded as a Captain America movie and not an Avengers movie. And it's
Because
all-
yeah.
because I mean, even the trailer is all of them. I mean, the trailer shows just about every Avenger in the movie. So I was surprised that it's just Captain America.
It's the additional
but-
characters that make it not an Avengers.
But I think the
Black
Avengers
Panther.
don't exist anymore. They're not the Avengers anymore.
That's true. That's true.
Well, I mean, what we got coming up is Captain America: Civil War, Thor: Ragnarok, Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
Captain Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is the official title, and then we're going to have the Avengers: The Infinity War Part 1, the Avengers: Infinity War Part 2.
Okay.
That's what's coming down the pike from Marvel Studios.
So you're missing the other trailer that I wanted to talk about, which is the new Deadpool trailer.
No,
Saw that one too.
God
Saw that
damn,
one
that
last
looks
night.
funny as
Yeah.
shit.
It
I
looks-
want to see that movie.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I'm actually more excited about that comic book movie than I've been excited about any comic book
That's
movie
soon.
in a
That's
long
what,
time.
Next month, the next 2 months, right? It's
I thought it
coming
was
out.
like June.
No, that's coming out.
Is it soon?
It's hitting before.
Oh, it looks so good. I think it looks amazing.
I don't remember when it said it was coming out, but I saw that one last night too. It's awesome.
Oh,
They
it's so,
finally
did you
get-
watch the Red Band one?
No, just the one in the movie
watch
theater.
Oh, the Red Band one's
That's much
awesome.
better.
Yeah, the Red Band. one is
Ryan
great.
Reynolds. This is Ryan Reynolds' career in a nutshell, right here. It is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Because fanboys, ever since early in his career, everybody wanted Ryan Reynolds to play Deadpool, and we're finally getting the Deadpool.
Well, he did
that
play
we want.
Deadpool, but
We're finally getting the Deadpool that we wanted.
it was just some weird mercenary
Yeah.
that didn't. Yeah, he wasn't really Deadpool.
Yeah, I was impressed.
Just real quick, Uncharted 4 was delayed again by another month. That's the big Sony exclusive that's been promised for the PS4 for fucking ever. But it got delayed for another month. There's a whole thing with Amy Hennig leaving the project and all that other stuff. But yeah, it was delayed again. The other thing I wanted to talk about is they finally started pre-orders for the thing I've been looking forward to. The Oculus Rift.
Oh.
I had set a price point for myself of $500 because I thought I was being generous. I thought it'd be
which is still almost double what you would pay for a current gen console at release.
Yeah, I was thinking it'd be $350 to $450, and I set myself a $500 price limit, thinking I was being generous, and it came out at $600. And I'm telling you, PlayStation and HTC, who are making the two competing products, I guarantee you they heard a fucking record scratch when people flipped the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
Like, that record scratch, and they went, oh shit. Like, HTC was probably like...
Either they dumped it, or they're like, okay, what kind of cutbacks can we make?
Yeah, because I guarantee you HTC's set was going to be more than that, because they've got the light towers and stuff that sense your position and all that stuff. So, and theirs come with the half moon controller things that they developed. So I bet you there was a huge record scratch. I don't know what it means for the future of VR. My wife told me to stop being a bitch and buy the damn thing. She's like,
that's a good wife.
She's like, you're gonna let it go over $100? And I'm like, no, I set that for myself. Like, I'm not doing 600.
Well,
Probably.
there is a certain point where what it's worth goes away. Yes, it's an amazing product at this much money, but there's a certain point where it's not worth it.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be.
Yeah, and I think $600 is just a little too much. So we'll see what the HTC Vive, which is supposed to be released in April, comes out at, and we'll see what the PlayStation VR comes out at. I still think the PlayStation VR is going to hit $400 to $450 because they've already said that the PlayStation VR is going to be console priced, and there hasn't been a console that was $600 since the PlayStation 3. So I believe that they're going to stay under $500. So probably PlayStation VR is going to be the direction I go. But the other thing I want to mention is the economies of scale don't work. Right? So when Oculus was doing their development kits, they were selling the development kits, which are semi-custom, low-volume products, for $350 a piece to help keep their funds up, to help keep them funded. So they were making somewhat of a profit off of them so that they could fund their development. So when the mass market, like, final version of this thing where they're printing off millions of circuit boards, molding millions of the fucking casing, like...
They're coming down the Henry Ford assembly line, not just some guy spending the next 10 weeks building it.
Building it, right. Now they're $600?
That's
for
ridiculous.
real, and it's coming with an Xbox One controller. Thanks, dude. I got one. Actually, I got two. Right? Like, it's not coming with anything other than that, and it's coming with a carrying case. Oh, just bite me. Like, you know, whatever. And it's coming with 2 games, which probably didn't cost them fucking anything.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So, like, I'm really bitter about the Oculus, if you can't tell. But anyway, we've got other stuff on the news. I don't think anything's all that important. Is there anything else that was on the news list that you guys wanted to cover? Are we good?
Those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the things that were most important to me.
How about we got to mention Star Wars to throw in Avatar in the domestic market.
Hell yeah!
Okay.
You know what I love the most about
movie
that?
of all time.
IGN wrote this big article about how Star Wars will never beat Avatar.
Right.
And 2 days later, they fucking smashed it, and I'm like, fuck you, IGN, because Avatar was
a mic drop right there.
Avatar was a garbage movie because it was.
Oh no! Avatar was a great Dances with Wolves meets Aliens mashup, but I mean, it bored me halfway through it.
Yeah, do you know?
I really liked it.
I saw it twice in the theater. Do you know how many times I've seen it since? 0.
I saw Star Wars twice in the theater.
I will watch the shit out of Star Wars. When I get
that's
it
one of those
2 days
things.
later.
Like, we're talking, it's really hard to come up with a top 10 video games or movie list of all time or whatever, because I respect, like, Titanic and Avatar as movies being well done, very good movies.
Oh yeah, James Cameron
But
does a great movie.
I'm not going to watch them again.
Yeah.
For me, a top 10 movie has to be something that I can watch every time. And Avatar and Titanic aren't on that list.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But I think Avatar, for that one-time watch, was a great movie.
Yeah,
A prime example
yeah,
of
exactly.
that. I had a friend ask me to go to Star Wars 3 nights after I had seen it the first time. And I was like, sure, why not? I was a little leery because I'm like, the excitement's not going to be there. I know what's going to happen. Not going to be as good, but why not? So I go there, and I'm just sitting on the edge of my seat watching the whole thing, and we get done, and I'm like, Was that really 2.5 hours? Holy
It's
crap!
that movie needs to be half hour, 45 minutes longer.
I was blown away by the fact that it zipped right past, and I was still on the edge of my seat, even knowing what happened the whole time.
I can't wait
That
to
could
watch
have
it
been
more.
a 3+ hour movie that gets watched every time.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to watch that and dissect the shit out of it even more. And yeah,
Well,
I
and
didn't even pee during
and
that
like what John said about your top 10 favorite movies,
Uh-huh.
everyone has the type of movies that they enjoy and they like. However, you go back and forth, and that's cool. But with Star Wars, this is really measurable and really amazing. It hasn't opened in China yet, or I think it opened today in China.
yeah.
Also, it hasn't had a second playing the way Avatar did.
Yep.
This is still its first run through, and it's beat Avatar's records in at least half the time.
Yep.
I mean,
And it's a
that's
completely
measurable.
watchable movie.
Who cares?
Watchable.
But at the same time, does this surprise anybody?
No.
Nope.
A little bit.
A little. I mean, because most people were pretty down on the prequels.
And even when the prequels came out, it
I
was still
was.
a small
Yeah.
section of society. Star Wars wasn't as pop culture as it is now.
Yeah, it's
But
much
think
bigger.
about this, though. At the same time, geek culture has grown. Has
Yeah.
become more
Oh, we rule the
accepted.
world right now. There's no doubt
Absolutely.
about that.
Look at San Diego Comic-Con. We decide what kind of movies we want. We
Yeah.
dictate what's a blockbuster. All that good stuff.
We should have a discussion one time on Aimless discussion about the pros and cons of geeks ruling the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But also at the same time, I don't know if anybody read this at all.
What's that? What's that? Murph, what's that?
Well, that's also what kind of changed San Diego Comic-Con as well. A lot of these movie studios, a lot of these toy companies, these game companies found out that's where their market is. So they started using San Diego Comic-Con. It's not really a Comic-Con anymore, but it's more like almost like a trade show, and that's where they do a lot of their advertising now.
Yep.
So
My question
It
is,
just
why
shows
doesn't
the
Seth
power
Green
of
come
our
to Phoenix
audience.
Comic Con?
He's kind of a douche.
Check this out,
I don't
too.
care, he's
Also,
cool.
think about
I
this.
like him, but he's kind of a douche.
Up until today, the most bankable actor in Hollywood was Samuel L. Jackson.
That motherfucker?
That motherfucker.
That
The
badass
bad
motherfucker?
Today
motherfucking
specifically?
snakes on a motherfucking plane.
Up until like yesterday or today, Samuel L. Jackson was the most profitable, I guess, actor in Hollywood. Because think of all the movies he's been involved with, all the Marvel Studio movies, Pulp Fiction, all everything he's
Django
done.
Unchained.
Star Wars, the prequels.
Even
He's been
Mace
part of these
Windu,
big
yeah.
blockbuster
Black
things.
Smoke Main is
Today,
what I was thinking.
yesterday or today, that changed.
Was he?
Guess who it is now?
Who?
Harrison Ford.
Well, that sort of makes sense, yeah. He's going to make a shit ton of money on the back end of this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
he
anyway,
won't be in the sequel unless this is a Force.
he's going to be in the
Flashback?
sequel. There's going to be flashbacks and stuff,
Really?
they said already. Yeah, he'll be in the sequel.
He just can't get out, can he?
I think he'll be done after episode 8, I
We'll see.
imagine.
We'll see.
But we'll see.
He was supposed to be out at 6.
Yeah.
He wanted to be out at 6. He wanted to be out at 5.
That's why I was so certain that he was going to die
He
in
wanted
this
to be out
one,
at
'cause
5.
He's wanted to be out
He wanted
forever.
Han Solo killed in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the end of our episode for today. We got a D&D game to get to, so we're going to roll
I'm
up
going
for
home
that.
and eat some tacos.
We got snacks too,
Oh
son.
man, Cassandra's tacos.
PewDiePie.
Live. Dude, I got Dorito coated cheese snacks.
Cheesy
Hell
Boo.
yeah, Murph.
What was
got
that?
some cheesy
Dorito
churros.
coated freaking cheesy baked deliciousness.
I might try one of those if I'm allowed.
You're allowed.
Thank you.
You're allowed.
Murph,
No, get out.
hey, I want to tell him really quick. The side note, I hinted at it earlier. You and I were kind of going back and forth on the PlayStation Network, and I'd sent
Oh,
you
yeah.
a voice that, "What up, Murph?" And he hits me back, "Holy fuck, I've never gotten a voice one before."
But anyway, that's the end of our episode. Thank you so much for
It's through my consoles.
Thank you so much for watching or listening. Check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Podbean, Instagram, Facebook groups. We're everywhere.
We
Just
still have our contest going, looking
Yeah.
for 500 YouTube subscribers.
yeah, we're up to like 150.
152.
151.
152.
Daryl Lee joined yesterday. 151. Thank
Yeah.
you, Daryl Lee.
So yeah, we're out there. We're trying to get our name out there. So support us, share our shit, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.
Later.